Bill Clinton and Mr. Trump, I've prepared a list of one-liners. Now, keep in mind, okay? Now, keep in mind, not all these are mine, but we have a couple one-liners here that I want to be able to share with you guys. Okay, let me go and pull them up here. Just give me a moment while I'm scrolling through my notes. All right, here we go. Okay. Donald Trump? No. Donica Lewinsky. That one's good. That one's good. Do you remember how much Trump hated Hillary? It's because he was the other woman. That one's also good. That one's good. That one's good. Trump's first taste of the presidency wasn't on January 21st, 2017, because it was with Bill Clinton 20 years before. Okay, all right. The big, beautiful bill makes so much sense right now. Okay. All right. Trump really never could keep Clinton out of his mouth. Okay, all right, we're done with the one-liners. Okay, we're done with the one-liners. We just prepared a couple. And now we are done with them. In other news, and significantly more serious, Donald Trump this morning went on a tirade on Truth Social, where he is now suggesting that he wants Pam Bondi, his attorney general, to use the Epstein files to go after Democrats, funny enough, like Bill Clinton. Now, the issue with this is, what is the one thing that we know about how Donald Trump thinks and feels of the Epstein files? Well, he's called them a Democrat hoax made by Obama and Biden, and he is continuing to suggest that more and more every single day. Now, please tell me this, okay? If the Epstein files were a Democrat hoax made by Obama, made by Bill Clinton, made by Biden, then why would they incriminate Democrats? He's telling Pam Bondi to go through the files, okay, and define. I'm using logic, and that's the problem. And that's the problem. Now, for everybody on TikTok saying zoom out, I'm sorry. This is it. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going to really do anything else. This is the framing on TikTok, and I think the framing looks perfectly fine myself. But anyways, folks, now for everybody that has joined us, we are going to go ahead and hop into the debates at this point in time. So if you're on YouTube, make sure to drop a like on that stream. If you're hanging out with us on TikTok, folks, make sure that you're double tapping, and make sure that you're hopping inside of that queue. If you are an American adult that supports Trump as president, we will hopefully get you loaded up into the box, and we'll have a good conversation right now. Quickly, before we do, I'm going to thank a couple people here. Pony, thank you for the $5 over in Super Chat, who says, ooh, Trump was giving top to Clinton. And apparently, according to some of Epstein's emails, it's quite possible. Jay with the $5 who says, unless he's attempting to seal the documents, again citing an ongoing quote-unquote fake DOJ investigation. That's what I think. Okay, he's going to try to seal the Epstein files again by opening up a new investigation into Larry Summers, Bill Clinton, so on and so forth. Daryl, thank you so much for the $50 super chat over on YouTube. Daryl, my friend, thank you so much for your kindness. That is insane. Thank you so much. Daryl with the $50 says, MAGA's feelings are hurt right now. Keep dropping facts. Sending as promised. Daryl, you are awesome. Thank you so much for the $50. I want to see 500 Daryl W's in both of the live chats. Yes, MAGA is hurt right now, folks. If you've watched the stream the last 2 days, you know that these debates are starting to get crazy as the Trump supporters are beginning to lash out since they have nothing else to hang on to. All they can do is deny that Donald Trump is a predator, or accept, like that guest we had 2 days ago that was literally arguing it wasn't wrong to rape children. I've started to see that clip circulate the internet. It's absolutely insane. Serpent, thank you so much for the 10 Canadian dollars over on YouTube Super Chat. I appreciate you so much for that love. Just if I had to sum up the news in a one sentence, it's kind of crazy, okay? But it's that according to Epstein, Putin has a video of Donald Trump giving head to Bill Clinton. Okay, you told me that would be a legitimate headline a year and a half ago. I would have called you crazy. Look at where we're at today. Holy shit. Carrie, thank you so much for the $20 super chat as well over on YouTube, saying, did Trump forget to breathe? Sorry. Elite reference, Carrie. Elite reference to a little bit of a rage baiter that we just had while we were co-hosting with Mr. Parker, who should, by the way, be joining us any moment. So go ahead and hop inside of that queue if you're on TikTok and you support Danica Leblewinsky as president. We're going to get you loaded up here. Let's also go ahead and get Mr. Parker in here. And we'll hopefully have some good dialogue. All right, welcome in, Parker. How are we doing today, my friend?
What's good? How is everybody doing today?
Well, I'm doing all right. For everybody hanging out with us, folks, my buddy Parker down here, you probably know him. In fact, you probably came from a stream if you're with us on YouTube right now, is going to be co-hosting with us for a handful of hours. We're going to be talking to Trump supporters together. Our goal today is just to get down to the bottom of the House.
I'm not a Trump supporter, but I'm just saying, keep doing what you guys are doing.
Thank you so much for the love, Chronic. However, unfortunately, we're only looking to talk to Trump supporters. Today, we're trying to get down to the hows and the whys insofar as how people still support Trump as president, even though in lieu of everything that we've learned from the Epstein emails publicly released by the House Oversight Committee in the last 48 hours. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
What's good, bro? Yeah, I do.
How old are you?
30.
And do you think Trump is a liar?
Yeah, everybody lies.
Okay, so Donald Trump is a liar.
Yeah, correct. But I think Jeffrey Epstein is a liar too, so I can't really just take his word for it when you say that he said Trump is the worst, is a bad person. It seems like Trump hurt him in some way. So
in 2011, Donald Trump sent an email. Sorry, not Donald Trump. Jeffrey Epstein sent an email. I'm gonna have to mute you. You have a lot of feedback. In 2011, Jeffrey Epstein sent an email to Ghislaine Maxwell that was private and confidential. In this email, Jeffrey Epstein said that, of course, Donald Trump knew about the girls. Okay, right? And I understand that child sex traffickers are not a reliable source. Okay, but in this email, I see no motivation for Epstein to lie. It was private. It was before Donald Trump served as president. It was before Donald Trump got political. And even after this email, him and Donald Trump continued to be friends, per their reported meeting with Prince Andrew in 2019. But this email contradicts everything that Donald Trump has been telling us about the nature of his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein for years now. Because for years, Donald Trump has been saying, I had no clue what Epstein was doing to those girls. Okay, I wasn't involved with all. I had no idea. Now we're learning that was a big lie, and all along Donald Trump has known exactly what Epstein was doing to those girls, and even reportedly spent hours alone with one of the sex trafficking victims at Jeffrey Epstein's estate. This is a scandal about 1 million times larger than what...
Yeah, it is a scandal.
Okay, and because this is a scandal that is about 1 million times larger than what got Bill Clinton impeached, can we agree that Donald Trump should be impeached for this today?
No, I don't think so. There's no proof that he did anything wrong besides lie and say that he didn't know what was going on. And considering the fact that he's saving America and literally reimagining the U.S. again, yeah, we should keep him as president.
Okay.
He has 3 years left.
So you understand that being best friends with a child sex exploiter, knowing about it and doing nothing is incredibly wrong, right?
Yeah, I agree. But the Clintons, I'm sure they knew a lot. I'm sure the Obamas knew a lot. I'm sure a lot of these people that you love and
how about this?
So
Can we agree
holy.
that anybody that knew about this and stood idly by while it was happening should be held accountable, including Donald Trump?
Yeah, but I think we should let him finish the presidency and then maybe, give him a couple months in jail.
Oh, shit. Okay. Wait, so you'd say that Donald Trump should go to jail for this?
if they find in court that he should have his day in court, and if they find that he did something
it's
illegal,
like-
yeah,
it's
he
like
should go to jail.
It's innocent till guilty.
Correct. Yeah.
So if a court
Everyone's
finds
innocent.
if a court finds Trump guilty of something, you'll believe that court.
Correct.
Do you believe the court that found him guilty of the rape of E. Jean Carroll?
They didn't find him guilty of rape. They find him guilty of assault.
Sexual assault
Of sexual assault,
for
yeah.
forcefully penetrating her female member with his fingers. which
Yeah,
is
and I'm
something
sure
that
he
we
paid a
colloquially
large
understand as
amount
rape.
of money.
Did you hear what I
that.
just said? Sexual assault for forcefully inserting his fingers into her female member against her will nor consent. That is rape. Can we agree?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. So in other words, that
But it wasn't.
rape.
It wasn't rape in the statute that you said back then in New York.
So you're saying it
the
wasn't
jury
legally
found-
defined as grape at that point in time in New York? I know, and I don't care because the courts
So
don't tell
you-
us what grape is. We tell the courts what grape is.
So you think he should be disqualified from ever running as president, ever doing anything good?
I'll
Because-
happily answer any questions that you have for me after you answer the question that I asked you. You said that if a court ruled Donald Trump was guilty of something, you'd believe it. I then brought up the fact that a court ruled that Donald Trump was guilty of grape, and it sounds like we haven't really gotten your response yet. So therefore, do you believe that Donald Trump is a rapist?
Yeah, but I think the court did also take into consideration the fact that Trump sued her for libel, and then she brought the charge of rape 20 years later. So it seemed like she wanted clout.
Oh, so now you're saying
And-
that the courts are unreliable, but I'm so sorry.
No,
So
it's
you
just
seem
in
to
a
be-
court of law, you take
just-
everything
you-
into consideration.
You just seem to be contradicting yourself now because less than 5 minutes ago you said that if a court were to rule that Donald Trump is guilty of something, you'd believe that court. I just want a yes or a no, okay? Just a yes or
Yeah,
just
so that was over. Yeah, they
just a
already
yes
ruled
or just a
he
no.
was
Do
guilty
you
on
believe that
sexual
Donald Trump
assault.
raped E. Jean Carroll?
No, he sexually assaulted her.
But I thought we agreed the action that the jury called sexual assault is something we both call rape.
Again, this is a
Again, I want a
Cool.
direct response. Therefore, do you agree that Donald Trump raped E. Jean Carroll?
no. I don't believe he raped her.
Do you agree what the jury found him guilty of is something we both call grape?
Sexual assault is wrong, but again, when there's a case, you look at all the circumstances. Can I speak?
No, because I'm not getting an answer to the question I'm
But I
asking.
want to answer. I want to answer.
You're just not giving it to me, though. So once again, the action
Okay.
that the jury
Because she just
Okay.
wanted clout.
Okay, got it. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So now you're walking back what you said earlier when you suggested that if a court, we'll go with what the court said. So the court said that yes or no. The court said that he forcefully penetrated her female member with his fingers. Correct?
Yes.
And that's something we both just agreed was rape. Correct? Earlier, you were telling us that well, if it could be proven that Donald Trump did bad things.
Jeffrey Epstein is a different case. You're talking about E. Jean Carroll, where it's very fishy.
I back and forth between what you've already told us. Less than 5 minutes ago, you told us that the outcome of that court case was accurate. 5 minutes later, you're now walking that back because I've gotten you in a corner.
Okay. Can I walk that back? I actually don't
Walk
think
it
the
back.
I don't think the verdict on that court case was accurate. And she was basically looking for clout.
Oh,
You know, you say it was so hard for
Donald
her to
Trump-
come out
Donald
20
Trump
years
didn't
ago.
sue E. Jean Carroll first. E. Jean Carroll sued Trump first.
And then he sued her for lying.
No.
Right.
So after this court case had concluded, okay, after the jury ruled that he had raped her, E. Jean Carroll went on live TV and called him a rapist. Then Donald Trump launched a countersuit for defamation because she called him a rapist. She won, but all these events were following and after the outcome of the civil court that determined that he had raped her. So, I mean, you just don't know the facts.
Okay, Okay. Well, again, she had the chance to bring this up 20 years ago, and she waited until he's president.
And how does this dispute the
to
outcome
do
of the
it.
court?
Because it was obviously for clout and to make Trump look bad. You have to consider that into the court and say, is this lady just trying to get money off this guy?
Okay, so who found him guilty? E. Jean Carroll or the jury?
The jury didn't find him guilty of rape. They found him guilty of sexual assault.
We've already agreed that the jury found him guilty of an action that we both agree is rape. But so who found him guilty? E.
But it
Jean
wasn't
Carroll or
legal
the
in New
jury?
York.
Who found him guilty? E. Jean Carroll or the jury?
So blame New York for having those laws.
Hey, real ass dude. Who found him guilty? E. Jean Carroll or the jury?
The jury.
Okay. See, this is the issue. When you say that it was all for clout and she was just doing it all for clout, well, she's not the one that found him guilty. The jury was.
Okay, so that means he should never be president. He can't save a country. He can't make America great again.
Well, yeah.
Okay, George Washington owned slaves. Does that mean you don't want George Washington to ever be president? Have ever been president?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're not an American. You hate George Washington. Got it.
Yeah, I hate slave owners. What about you?
Yeah, I do too, but unfortunately,
Oh, wait,
if you're
so
going
then
to
you're
save the country...
anti-American? So you're anti-American because you just said that you hate George Washington.
No, I don't. I just said I'm glad...
Wait, you said that you hate slave owners and George Washington was a slave owner. Therefore, you hate George Washington. That is a
Yeah,
logical
people do
implication.
bad things, unfortunately, but they also do good things.
Oh,
There
good
can
things.
be two things in the world
Okay, so we need a Grapus as president for why?
because he's saving the country, making
so?
America great again.
How so?
Well, I feel like Trump brings up a lot of things that patriotic Americans have been pushing for a lot of years, whether
Like
it be
what?
the problems that mass migration might cause,
Like
or
what?
the problem like the fact that the government taxes us and regulates us to the point where there's no industry in the U.S.
Taxes, industry. So what is he doing that you like? What is he doing that's saving America? Be very specific.
Well, I look at what he's doing.
Like what? Be
as in-
specific.
For example, is in contrast with what the Democrats want. Why did the Democrats want
we're not
totally
talking
open
about,
borders?
We're not talking about the Democrats. We're talking about the fact that you said Trump's saving America. What is Trump doing to save America? Be specific.
Securing the border, that's one.
What is he doing to secure the border?
There's like record low border crossings.
I know,
illegal
but
border
what did he do to
crossings now.
cause that? That's good.
What did he do to cause that? He
Yeah,
wanted
that's
to
good.
build a wall. It was not allowed by the
Okay,
Democrats.
so then
now
that's
he's
that's not what he's doing to cause it. So what is he doing to cause it? That's good.
He's rallied the National Guard to guard the border, and now we have record lows.
More
crossings.
National Guard at the southern border. So we actually know that more troops at the southern border doesn't secure the border. Biden had 15,000 troops.
Okay,
deployed at
so
the southern
why is it
border,
record
so-
lows?
Good question. It's not because of good policy. It's because of fascism. Donald Trump is scaring undocumented. Donald Trump is scaring undocumented entry away by basically telling them that if they come into this country, they'll have a lower quality of life by violating both the human and constitutional rights of undocumented immigrants that are already in this country, which, by the way, is just about as anti-American. You're going to let me finish speaking. It's just about as anti-American as it gets. Okay, one example of this would be how Donald Trump has been deporting Venezuelan immigrants to SICA and El Salvador without due process, even though they have a right to due process per the American Constitution as adjudicated by SCOTUS and as made clear by the explicit text. So tell me how it is American for our president to strip constitutional rights away from people that have them just to punish them.
Did these people, these Venezuelans that you're talking about, did they come in through a port of entry or they snuck into the border?
They were undocumented immigrants.
So they just snuck in. Nobody knows how they got here.
Undocumented immigrants. And they have constitutional rights. That's right.
Okay, so but legally he can deport them. It's
Well, he has to do it with due process. He did it without due process. That's what made it illegal. That's what made it anti.
he only has to do it with due process if they come in through a port of entry.
No, that's
You
not
have to
true
come in
because
through a
every
port of entry.
every person on American soil has the right to due process per the Constitution. Do you agree or do you disagree?
Not if you illegally sneak in here. No.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and prove you wrong with the Constitution. Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. This is fun, right? Because this guy claimed to be a patriot. This guy claimed to be pro-America. But when you literally read the 14th Amendment, it says, and I quote, no state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities. Let's skip it forward a little bit to get to the due process clause. Here we go. Nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. Okay, so let me ask you a
Yep,
question.
unless they sneak in here through not a port of entry.
Oh, but I have the first section of the 14th Amendment, the Due Process Clause, open up on my computer screen right now, and I'm reading it. Where in the first section of this Due Process Clause does it say?
I honestly forgot the title and the code
Oh, it's
that
because
it
it
is,
doesn't
but
exist.
it's in the. Yeah, it does. It does.
so
I'll
where?
find it for you.
So where? No, this guy's delusional. He's not gonna find it. He's gonna come back. Listen, guys, I have a ball in my hand, a crystal ball that can see the future. Okay, and this crystal ball in my hand that can see the future is gonna tell me this guy's gonna come back. Okay, and he's gonna try to pivot and deflect and change the topic of conversation because nowhere in the Constitution does it suggest that if you are an undocumented immigrant, you do not have a right to birthright citizenship. True, but to due process. Okay, so he's gonna come back and he's gonna pivot and deflect and get really angry, or he's just gonna leave while he's on pause, and we're never gonna hear from him again because he's gonna be too embarrassed to come back.
I'm not gonna do that. The thing is, I have to find out what that statute
go do it.
is.
Go do it.
It's gonna take me.
I don't care how long it takes you. Go do it. We can wait. We're patient people. I have a couple of people to thank anyways. Fashi, thank you so much for the $20 over on YouTube Super Chat. Good to see you. Happy Friday. I want y'all to show some love to Fashi in that comment section right now. That is FASIH. Thank you so much for the $20. Fashi says, yo, Dean, good to see you. Happy Friday. I hope you're doing well. I am doing really well. Thank you so much. And my reaction to your post, this might be weird, but I think you have a new joke slogan for you. Quote unquote, DMAGA. Democrats make America great again. Let's go DMAGA. Well, I like the idea. I like the concept, but we just need to let that slogan die. But thank you so much for the $20, as well as Dave. Thank you so much for the $20 as well. Over in Super Chat, who says, bro, I was listening to this live yesterday night while buying groceries. Are you guys getting enough sleep? Thank you for your dedication to the American people. Dude, yes, I'm honestly getting good sleep. I got 8 hours. I feel fucking great. Thank you so much for the $20, you two. Make sure to show some love to all of our donors down below in that comment section. And everybody in the comment section is spamming to check his page. Okay, let me finish thanking a handful more people, and then I will check his page. Lily, thank you for the $2 over on Venmo. I did hear about that, Lily. Ella with the $5 who says, love you, Dean. Love you too, Ellie. Jenna, thank you so much for the $5 as well on Venmo, who says at the beginning of the convo, he said, Trump should go to trial for the Epstein stuff after his presidency. Yeah, he's a goddamn member of a cult. So basically saying it's possible that he is a child rapist, but we shouldn't figure that out and we shouldn't investigate it until after he's done serving as our president. Absolutely insane. Then Lena, thank you for the $25 over on Venmo. I want everybody to please show some love to Lena down below. That is LINAH. Thank you so much for the $25. Who says President Hawk Tua 47. Appreciate you for that love, Lena. And then Amanda, thank you so much for the $11 as well. Thank you so much, Amanda. I'm not going to read that one off, but that's funny as shit. Thank you for the $11, Amanda. Alora with the $2, thank you so much. And Christian, thank you for the $25 on PayPal, who says, asking to refrain from homophobia. Gay jokes in a derogatory manner is still derogatory homophobia. Well, I'm not making a gay joke when I'm talking about the fact that Trump blew Bill Clinton, because I'd be making the same jokes, for instance, if he had slept with Hillary Clinton. Of course, if it was consensual in the same manner that apparently he blew Mr. Bill Clinton. It has little to do with the fact that it's gay, and more so to do with the fact that he engaged in sexual intercourse with somebody that he's been speaking negatively upon for years. And we're learning this because of Epstein telling Larry Summers that Putin has a video of it. It's very strange and very comedic, not because it's gay, but for all the other reasons that I gave. Now, appreciate you guys so much for all the love. Please show some love to their donors down below in that chat. We're still waiting on this guy to come back. Parker, how are we doing?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, this guy's like...
Sorry, I've been posting the YouTube video.
This guy's like 4 videos of me spammed on his page. Weird. So yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I've talked to this guy.
Yeah,
yesterday.
you guys called me a pedo yesterday because
I don't even remember you. I don't even remember the conversation.
Kind of
You're
triggered.
probably
you guys.
insane because I talked to you yesterday, and all my guests yesterday were nuts.
Yeah, well,
If I called you that, I'm scared.
I don't think you personally called me that. No, I'm sorry. I don't think you actually called me that. But a lot of your followers definitely did. Yeah.
Okay, here's what we're
But
gonna
anyways,
do.
I found the statute.
What is
So were you
it?
just sympathizing with pre-3DOs? Is that the view?
Are you just not going to debate me now?
No, I'm asking you to clarify
I'm
on the
just a guy,
statement you
dude.
just made.
No, I remember yesterday saying that I don't think that peeking into fitting rooms should be the same category as rape and sexual assault. So that's
Oh,
me.
yeah.
Oh, you were
And
just
everybody-
justifying sexual exploitation.
That was the one.
Yeah, I said it was a.
Yeah, this is what we're going to do. We're going to move on to the next guest, guys. Only op inside of that queue if you are an American adult that supports Trump as president. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up into the box, folks. For everyone hanging out with us on TikTok, guys, make sure that we're double tapping away in that phone screen. If you're on YouTube, guys, make sure to drop a like. And if anybody wants to support me, you can find my Venmo and my PayPal in the link tree in my bio on TikTok and in the pinned message on the YouTube stream. We're going to go to get that next guest loaded up in here right now. We got Reese talking loaded into the box. Yeah, it wasn't even worth like the satisfaction to hear him like come up like empty-handed with trying to argue that the Constitution doesn't give due process to undocumented immigrants. We're just gonna kick him because he's absolutely disgusting. Reese talking, what's up? Do you support Trump?
Hello, mate. I'm a UK citizen, if it's okay, but we're looking to get your opinions.
Unfortunately, it's not okay, guys. We have a couple rules for the day, gal. We have a couple rules for the day. You have to be an American citizen. You have to be at least 18 years old, and you have to support Trump as president. If you break any of these rules, you will be very swiftly banned right now because of the breaking news of the Epstein files and Donald Trump crashing out, the White House being in crisis mode, and the contents of those files and those emails. There's not many people left that support Trump as president. MAGA is dying in front of our eyes, guys. So for that reason, I will please ask you to refrain from joining the queue to troll, to come up here if you're breaking the rules, to ask a question, so on and so forth, just so we can ensure that the people who are in the queue are actually here to debate, okay? Right? And if we don't all like engage in this proactive effort to reduce the amount of trolling, then it's likely that we will be talking to trolls like all day on live. Don and Butcher MMA. That's Butcher MMA. Once again, banned because we're going to be banning everybody that trolls today. Don, do you support Trump?
Yeah, I support Trump up to a limit.
Okay, and do you still support him today?
Well, it depends on what happens with these Epstein files.
Okay, so if he was proven to have sexually exploited naked women and or girls,
Then I'm done with him. Then I'm done with him. He's done, convicted, done with my eyes. I can't support somebody who actually did that.
okay, well, let's see if we could just get you off the train right now because he's already proven to have done this. Can we agree that sexual?
Oh, it's already proven.
Yes. Can we agree that sexual?
Where?
I'll show you in 1 second. Can we agree that sexual exploitation would include the abuse of a position of power over the position of vulnerability of one else for the furtherance of sexual gratification?
Yeah, sorry, I got distracted. What did you say again? I'm sorry.
Can we agree that sexual exploitation would include the unconsensual abuse of a position of power over the position of vulnerability of one else for the furtherance of sexual gratification?
Yeah, of course.
A good example of that would be unconsensually barging into a woman's dressing room to look at the naked women and or girls in that space, correct?
He wasn't looking at girls; it was women. It wasn't It wasn't a Teen USA pageant. It was the Women's USA pageant.
So we've had 4 contestants from Miss Teen USA speak out and say that this happened to them. But regardless of that fact, I said naked women and or naked girls. So even if it's just naked women, we can
where's
still
the article that says that?
Yeah,
Where?
if you go on Google, you type in former Miss Teen USA pageant contestants speak out, you'll find an article from BuzzFeed interviewing them personally in 2015, I believe. Now, I just want to like stay on point here. You still said that you did this to women, right? So obviously, this would be sexual exploitation if Donald Trump unconsensually barged into the women's dressing rooms to look at them while they're naked because he's abusing his position of power as the owner of the pageant to allow himself to go into that space, then abusing their vulnerability since they feel vulnerable enough to get naked because it was, implicitly accepted that this was a space only for women, correct?
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. What are we waiting on?
I'm looking up stuff. Hold on. I'm
Okay.
trying to keep up.
Okay, I just don't think... just keep up, Don. Keep up, Don.
Maria Balelo
Yes,
in
that's one of them.
contradiction has spoken out against Donald Trump's behavior. Did it go to court?
Did it go to court?
Did it?
No.
I don't think it did.
No, it didn't go to court.
Did it go to court?
Yeah, the evidence that we have to know that Donald Trump did this was his own admission.
I have no evidence of it. Just have what they say and what he says. And if it doesn't go to court, we can't really find out who's actually guilty or who's actually telling the truth.
Well, the thing is that their testimony here doesn't contradict one another. Donald Trump is saying that
No.
he did this to the women and girls, then the women and girls are
And
saying
if he
that it-
did, then he should have been convicted a long time ago. But
can
that's
agree.
only keeping That's being a peeping Tom. It's not doing rape or something.
So what that is sexual exploitation. Since he's abusing his position of power to allow himself to go into that space, then abusing their position of vulnerability to look at them while they're naked.
So what statute of law is that he's breaking?
Oh, well, you actually just agreed that this was a definition of sexual exploitation. So I don't know why you're asking me about legislation.
Well, yeah. I mean, what's the law though?
What's the
You
law?
gotta have the definite. What sanction? What law is it that he broke?
So
concerning this.
So I'm not a legal.
I know it's sexual exploitation. That's the definition of sexual exploitation. We're talking about law.
Okay.
Now,
So, sir, I'm not a lawyer. I wouldn't be able to point you towards like this specific federal statute that delineates and makes it clear what sexual exploitation is. But this shouldn't matter at all because regardless of its legality, what we're doing is we're having a conversation about the morality. Can we agree that regardless if sexual exploitation
if he did that,
Don, can we agree that regardless on if sexual exploitation is legal or illegal, it's still immoral? A good example of this would be
of course
child
it's
marriage.
immoral. Wait a minute. I'm not arguing that point. I'm just arguing that if he's done this stuff, okay, then he should have been prosecuted in a court of law about this. How long ago was this?
Wait. We could agree that he should be prosecuted, but that doesn't mean that he isn't condemnable.
Right.
Okay. He's condemnable,
Well,
right?
I mean, until somebody.
And the
then why didn't these girls file actual charges?
And the question on
Why didn't they file charges?
Don, the question on if he did this or not is completely separate and decoupled from the question on was he prosecuted for this or not, because we know for a fact he did this per his own admission. Would you like to hear it?
Well, yeah, he was talking on what radio show was that?
Well, you can also say, as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation.
That's it. You're bringing it up. I already know that.
Well,
I already know that.
The funniest is
yeah, I know
go
who's saying
backstage
it. I know who
before
that
show,
is.
yes. And everyone's getting
Woman.
dressed and ready and everything else, and no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
like
everything is good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women, and so I sort of get away with
Women.
it.
Now, for everybody watching the live, if you watch frequently, understand at this point, you've probably heard that clip well over 1,000 times. I just want to continue to stress that it is important to continue to replay.
You said women.
Hey, Don, I'm going to mute you. It's important to continue to replay that when we're having these conversations because not everybody knows. Okay, there's always new people tuning in and there's always new people joining the stream. Now, I'm just going to try to make this super duper simple and easy to track so the guest can understand precisely where I'm coming from and he can understand why he's a goddamn spineless hypocrite. So, Don, you joined this live and you said if Donald Trump had sexually exploited naked women and or naked girls, you would stop supporting him as president. I've now proved at the minimum, according to you,
Bare minimum.
I have now proven at the minimum, according to you, that he has sexually exploited women. Now, my argument that what Donald Trump admitted to in that clip is sexual exploitation is something that I've already said in this conversation 4 times. You just can't keep up. I'll go ahead and repeat it for a 5th and final time here. It's because
Allegations. Okay, he said that.
Don, am I speaking?
Allegation. Were the women?
Don,
he said there's beautiful women.
Hey, Don.
Did he say he was naked?
Hey, Don, am I speaking?
Did he say that? Did he say that? Did he say that? Go ahead and play it again.
Hey, Don, am I
Play it
speaking?
again.
Can you stop crashing out and listen?
I'm not crashing out.
You are crashing out because I was in the middle of an explanation and argument, and you're not listening to what I have to say.
Well, go ahead and say it.
Thank you. Just listen close. Okay. You agreed that sexual exploitation includes the furtherance of unconsensual sexual behaviors via the abuse of a position of power over the position of vulnerability of one else. Okay. And this is exactly what Donald Trump admitted to in that clip. You heard him say that because he's the owner, he'd allow himself to go into that dressing room. Okay. Which is abusing his position of power.
Did he exploit anything from those women?
Yes, and I'm going to explain.
Did he? Did he?
Yes.
Oh, what? What did he do to them?
Yeah, he abused his position of power.
Allegations are different than evidence.
This is an allegation. It's an admission.
It's hearsay.
It's not hearsay. It's a direct admission of guilt.
He directly admitted guilt.
Yes.
Well, he said he walked in the dressing room, but did he say I walked in the dressing room full of naked women?
Yes.
He did. I didn't hear that.
I'll replay it. Can we agree that when you have no
Replay it again. Replay it again.
Hey, Don, when
and it's just one issue. I mean, I would never vote for
Don,
Kamala. I voted for Biden. I voted for Obama.
Don, can we? When I have no clothes on, I'm naked. How about you?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Okay. So here's Donald Trump saying that the people in those spaces had no clothes on, therefore they were naked.
Dress. Is everyone okay? You know, they're standing there with no clothes. I want to make sure that everything is good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? You know, they're standing there with no clothes. I want to make sure that everything is good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? You know,
Well, you don't have to be stupid about it now. Okay, that's fine. Well, you know what? Until he gets convicted in a court of law, I'm going to continue supporting him.
What would the court of law
until
adjudicate?
he gets in a court of law, get convicted? Nobody's convicted of that. Yeah, he walked in there in a room full of a bunch of naked women. No, I don't know why. You know, you can't walk in decency, and that's a breaking the law there too. Him walking in there like that. Nobody filed charges. That's what's the funny thing is nobody's done anything to him, and he continues to go ahead and succeed. So if he goes ahead, and the nail in coffin for me, if he's on those Epstein files, which it does mention him, but if there's
Hey, Don, I put you on mute. So nobody could hear you right now, including myself. I put you on mute because you're pivoting. I want to stay on topic. You said that you'd only believe this if he was convicted of it in a court of law. So what additional evidence do you think would be supplemented inside of the court of law to prove it beyond the direct admission of guilt that we just listened to? The reason why
testimony under oath.
Testimony under oath. So you think it's possible that in that clip when he said he did those things, that in all reality he didn't?
Maybe he didn't. Maybe he's just doing that. It's just like he's sitting there talking about dogs and cats being eaten in Springfield, Ohio. I think there's something wrong with this guy's head.
Okay.
Sometimes
because he lies a lot. Okay, I agree that Donald Trump's a big old liar. Okay, but Donald Trump only lies when it furthers his own goals. All right, like for instance, that lie about undocumented immigrants eating cats and dogs in Ohio's that furthered his goal of winning the presidency by attempting to fearmonger more Americans into supporting him, since he promised the removal of these people that he was painting as demons. Okay, right? But
no.
Don,
let me say something.
You're back on mute. But obviously, when we're listening to this clip here of him admit to the sexual exploitation of women and or girls, that's not furthering his own goals because it only makes him look bad. All right. So we know that Donald Trump is telling the truth. I mean, when have you ever heard, right, an egotistical, boastful man that wants to preserve his self-image and further his own goals, no matter what it takes, right, lie about sexually exploiting women?
Wait a minute. I got one better. He sat there and said he grabs them by the, you know what? Remember that one?
That wasn't a lie.
And he did.
Exactly.
He got convicted. He got okay. This is what I'm getting at.
Exactly.
So
that's another example. He said that he grabs women by the P word and he doesn't have to ask first. And we know that that is something that he did very, very frequently. Okay, because it led to a civil court conviction of him doing exactly that to E. Jean Carroll.
Exactly.
You're only further justifying my own position, because what this is telling us is when Donald Trump speaks,
what I'm saying is that what you're saying about this,
he's being honest. Okay, right? There's absolutely, Don,
why didn't those girls
I want you to listen to me. There's absolutely no reason whatsoever to dispute the fact that what Donald Trump admitted to in that clip was something that he had done. There's no reason at all. You said maybe one reason to dispute that he had done those things is maybe he was lying. Donald Trump lies a lot, but only when it's in the furtherance of his own goals. This actually made him look bad. You said maybe another reason why he said this was, I don't know, to sound cool. Okay, well, who does sexual assault and sexual exploitation sound cool to? And now you're about to say, well, if it was true, well, then why didn't the women and girls pursue litigation against him? Well, it's because he held a position of authority over them. He held a position of authority over them, Don. That position of authority was being the owner of the pageant that controlled their career and gave them a paycheck. So obviously, right, I think we see this happen frequently. A man in a position of authority taking advantage of women and girls because he knows he could get away with it. In fact, he said this in the clip. At the end, he said, and I get away with these things.
Don't you even take a breath, dude?
I don't need to take a breath. Fry your old ass.
Oh, fry me? On what? What are you going to fry me
Yo,
on?
Don, I have a question, bro.
What?
Do you think it's okay to sexually exploit young women because you literally follow a bunch of young women in your following list?
No, of course not.
Of course not. Well, aren't you arguing right now that sexual exploitation is okay?
Oh my goodness. Oh, this is just freaking circular as hell. Because you don't understand what I'm trying to tell you and you won't listen to me. Like I said, why didn't they bring a civil suit against his ass? Why
He
didn't
did
these
have a
women
civil
fight
suit against him.
back?
He was held civilly liable of sexual abuse. There were 26 different plus women that have accused Donald Trump of sexual misconduct. He bragged about walking in the changing rooms of naked women while they're changing without their consent, where an 18-year-old came out, said there were 4 girls as young as 15 years old in these changing rooms when Donald Trump would barge
And
in.
no charges filed, and nobody
Don,
did a civil
Don,
suit.
Don,
Nobody.
There was a
did
civil suit. He was
nothing.
held liable.
They did nothing.
Don,
Why didn't they do something?
I've explained this to you already, and I will re-explain it again.
Oh, you're saying that he's exploited them to not do anything about
Don,
it. That's
Don.
what you're trying to get out.
Don, can you promise that you'll actually listen to me here? I feel like I'm talking to a brick wall right now. Okay? A likely reason why none of the victims of his sexual exploitation at Miss Teen USA and Miss USA was because he held a position of authority over them. Okay? He controlled their paychecks. He controlled their careers. He controlled a part and aspects of their future. Okay? So obviously, if this shitty man was willing to infringe on their personal space, their rights, and their vulnerability by consensually looking at them while they're naked, which does amount to sexual exploitation, what else would he be willing to do to them, right, if they were to speak out, say no, or report it to the police? I can guarantee to you that that was the exact thought going through the minds and these heads of these women and girls, okay? And this is not this is not a unique, isolated response that we only saw from the women and girls that were sexually exploited by Trump. This is an ununique response that we see all the time from victims of sexual violence, rape, and sexual exploitation at the hands of men who have authority over them, regardless if it's a boss like Trump or an abusive husband. Okay? 60% of women that get raped never report it to the authorities in their lifetime, not only because of that position of authority that abuser has over them, but also because of the negative, unforeseen consequences that they get and they feel for speaking out. E. Jean Carroll literally lost her job as a journalist and was dehumanized, demonized, turned into a monolith of the left called crazy and victim blame, and is still victim blamed by millions of Trump supporters nearly every single day, even though she was able to prove Donald Trump guilty of raping her in a court of law. Okay, you just simply saying that, well, because the victims of the sexual exploitation that Donald Trump admitted to did not speak out, right, does not refute that he did those things. All that it does is it actually helps explain a nuance of the system that you in part have helped to create, of a system that allows for these abusers to go unchecked by denying that they are abusers even when they tell it to your face, and allows for these victims to go further harmed and further marginalized even after the violence is perpetuated against them, because you actively uphold the systems that caused them into silence in the first place by saying it is their fault for maintaining that silence. And I know every single word that I just said and every word that I will continue to say will go in your right ear and will go out the left, because you don't think with your brain, you think with something else.
Okay, now you're going to do
I'll tell you what
personal
it is.
insults. Now you're
It's a personal insult that is 100%
now you've been
true,
personal
but it's
insult.
absolutely needed. Okay? You're not thinking with your brain if you're denying the words that I'm saying. You're not thinking with your brain if you listen to Donald Trump admit to these things and you disregard it. And you're definitely not thinking with your brain when you will then respond to this with something off topic, and you don't even consume
you
what
completely
he
mute
said.
me every single time I say something.
Every single time you interrupt me, I will mute you, Don.
Blah, 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 blah. Fine. Okay. Have a good day, sir.
Yeah, now you're gonna leave and run away.
Until he's
because-
convicted, nothing's going to happen.
Right. You
Let him.
yeah,
I don't care.
right.
I don't have to sit here and go through this
Hey,
for
Don.
hours and
Hey,
hours.
Don.
I got other more.
Hey, Don, if your best friend walked up to you and told you that he raped a woman at a party last night but was never convicted for it, would you believe him? Oh, and by the way, the victim also came to you and said, hey, your friend raped me at this party. If your best friend came up to you and said, I raped this woman at a party last night, and then that woman came up to you and said, he raped me at this party last night, the same way Donald Trump went up to Howard Stern and said, I sexually abused these women, and then the women spoke out like Miss Arizona in 2001 and said, he sexually assaulted me, right? Oh, and of course he left. Now he's gone. Okay? Now he's gone. So I want to bring this front and center to everybody's mind and attention right now. For the 14.2 thousand people we have on TikTok, okay, the 5.2 thousand people we have on YouTube, this is how we can expect these debates to go in multiple circumstances. In one ear, out the other. These people don't care about fact. These people don't care about reason. These people don't care about logic. These people don't care about women. These people don't care about victims. These people don't care about America. They don't care about its future, and they don't care about its leadership. All they care about is bending the knee to a tyrant to feel important because they felt so unimportant in their sad, low life. All right? That is what we can expect. This is the state of the country. This is where MAGA is at. I just saw somebody in the TikTok chat say, Dean, stop. These are the cold, hard facts. If you can't deal with them, feel free to swipe and go live the rest of your life. Lottie doing, consuming fucking brain mush AI slop on your For You page that doesn't matter at all. Meanwhile, this country is in a goddamn crisis because people like Don are not a needle in a haystack, but close to the average. Enough of them exist to make him president not once, but twice. Let's go and get that next Trump supporter loaded up into the box, okay? I came
Absolutely
prepared.
diabolical. Absolutely diabolical.
I came prepared today. I expected this, so I'm not gonna let it get to me. Okay, what you guys are gonna see, right, are very like little like emotional outbursts from me today, right? Because I am completely expecting this. You guys will only hear the cold hard facts, no matter how hard it gets. What's going on, Paranoid? Do you support Trump?
No. All I just want to ask you is, do you think Trump is secretly an orange?
Okay, we're only looking to talk to Trump supporters. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up in the box, guys. Only hop inside of that queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Trump as president. We'll get you loaded in. We'll have a conversation. I got a couple people to think of this. Holy shit. Oh my goodness gracious. Storm Dillard. Thank you so much for the $200 super chat over on YouTube, Storm. That is insane. That is so incredibly kind of you. That is so generous. I do not deserve a single penny of that. Thank you so much for the $200 Storm. I want to see it. 2,000 Storm W's in that live chat. Storm says, hey, thank you for waking me up about 6 months ago, Dean. God bless you. Oh, dude, I'm so happy that I could wake you up. I'm so happy I could help get you on the right side of history. Just keep in mind that you did the work, not me. I'm proud of you. I'm so proud of you, Storm. Show some love to Storm down below in that comment section. And Derek, do you support Trump?
Shove your fist up your ass for a galaxy.
I'll go to take that as a maybe, but definitely not here to debate. You take care.
Ida Louise, thank you for the $50. Thank you. Give me some W's for Ida Louise in the comment section right now. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Let's go to get that next Trump supporter loaded up into the box right now. Parker, if you actually want to help me load somebody in, that'd be nice. Also, over on PayPal, yes, Ida Louise for the $50 as well. Thank you so much.
I love you. I love you.
I appreciate you for your kindness. Ida Louise with the $50. Thank you so much. That is IDA, folks. If we could please get 1,000 IDA or IDAWs down below in that comment section for the $50 to me and the $50 to Parker. That'd mean the absolute world, guys. Thank you so much. What is going on? Do you support Trump?
Not really.
Awesome, man. Well, guys, Hunter, I appreciate you for coming up. Only hop inside of the queue if you are a Trump supporter, all right? I'm going to make that clear right now. The rules are simple. Only join the queue if you are an American adult that supports Trump as president. If you're not, you will be removed. But just know that I think you guys are based. As well, Shelby, thank you for the $15 over on PayPal, who says, hey, Dean, love the lives every day. Thank you always for putting horrible people in their places. Well, Shelby, thank you so much for the $15. I think that you're absolutely phenomenal. Show some love to Shelby down below in that chat for the 15. Well, what's going on, Davion? Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
Larry, do you support Trump? Larry's not here. Connor, do you support Trump?
I just want to say Jesus loves you, bro.
All right. Are you a MAGA supporter? Do you support Trump?
I did vote for him, yes.
Do you still support him today?
No, but I think I disagree with you for different reasons.
Should we leave him up here? I don't know. We'll kick him because Davion said that they still support Trump today. That's right?
Yeah.
How old are you?
20.
Okay. Why do you support Trump?
Gun control.
What?
He said gun control.
Yeah.
Gun control. Okay. So because of something to do with the Second Amendment, you still support the predator, pervert, tyrant as president. So what about the Second Amendment?
Fight to keep guns and shit. I don't know.
Well, it's funny that you bring this up because even Donald Trump is a threat to the Second Amendment. He directed his DOJ to find a way to ban any and all gun ownership for law-abiding trans-American citizens. That is such a bold-faced threat to the Second Amendment that even the far-right NRA has publicly spoken out against him and his administration for attempting to do so, right? And maybe you don't care because you're transphobic, which I think is a likelihood, but I think the question that should remain in your mind, if Donald Trump is willing to infringe on the Second Amendment and throw it out the window to attack a group of people that he doesn't like, well, what if one day you become a part of a group of people that he doesn't like and he tries to do the same thing to you?
I'm going to just be straight up honest with you. I was just trolling you this whole time. No, I support.
All right, guys, we're going to go to
Alrighty, everyone, let's go to the next person.
We're gonna go to get that next guest loaded in right now, everybody. Once again, over on PayPal, Elite Gunner, thank you so much for the $10 over on PayPal. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And yes, I did see that about Tim Birch at Elite Gunner. And Kira, thank you for the $20 as well, who says, I started editing you 1 year ago, and I'm so thankful for everything. Oh my God, are you like that, Kira? Dude, shout out to you. Show some love to Elite Gunner and Kira down below in that comment section. Kira, if you were like the Kira, you were absolutely so blazed. I literally,
W.
Yeah, me
Blazed.
and Parker. Base, sorry, I can't even speak today. Me and Parker have both been like following you and your edits for like so long now. You're an absolute W. Total icon. Show some love to Elite Gunner and Kira down below. What's up, Black Douglas and Celeste? Do you guys support Trump?
Oh, sorry, I clicked the wrong thing.
No worries at all. You take care, Celeste. Black Douglas 83. Are you MAGA? We're gonna
Yeah, I support Trump being the president currently.
Jesus Christ. I mean, embarrassing, right? Let's have a conversation. Before we do, I just want to very quickly thank just a couple people over on Venmo. Ashley, thank you for the $10 who says when there is a position of power over somebody, consent cannot be given even if they say yes. It's called coercion. You're absolutely right. In a lot of circumstances, that is so true. Thank you for the $10, Ashley. Let's get 100 Ashley W's and 500 Sierra W's. Thank you so much for the $50. That's spelled SIERA. Thank you for the $50 Sierra who says, appreciate the fire today. Keep pressing on these cultists. I'm never going to fucking stop, Sierra. Thank you so much for the love. Show some love to Sierra. And Yoli for the $20. That is YOLI, who says, thank you for all that you do. Thank you so much, Yoli and Sierra. Thank you, you guys. Jamie with a 5 and Christina with a 5. Victoria with a 25, who says, I love you and Parker's battle last night. Yeah, that was really fun. Thank you so much for the $25 of Victoria. And one big one here. Oh my God. Laura, thank you so much for the $100 donation over on Venmo. Let's go, Laura. Guys, please show some love to Laura down below in the chat. That is egregious. Thank you so much for your kindness and your generosity. Laura with 100 big ones says, I'm back. Keep it up, Dean. Love what you're doing and appreciate your persistence and commitment. Laura, all the love in the world to you. Thank you for being here. I'm so happy that you enjoy this stream, and thank you for the big love. Thank you so much, Laura. At this point, there's a couple more people that we do need to thank. I am going to go ahead and pass the mic to Black Douglas so he can begin to tell us how the hell he still supports pervert President Trump as the commander-in-chief. Take it away, sir. You got my attention and you got Parker's attention.
Okay, sweet. So I think that Donald Trump is good for America right now, because if Kamala Harris was president, then the Republicans wouldn't have to face their own party getting screwed by their candidate.
So is this like a serious argument, or is this like
Yes. No, I love that he's president.
So are you being like serious, or are you like, haha, like the Republicans are getting screwed over? Haha.
No. I am right wing, but I like it that Donald Trump is in, because now my party members cannot look past the fact that their own elites are trash and that they need new ones and new people. Okay. So yes, that's why I support him being president, because
so I'm going to maybe give you like 30 seconds. I'm like likely only going to give you around 30 seconds on the live, because I don't think I could change your mind, because you have to be already so brain rotted to hold to this position. At the end of the day, what you're telling us here is that all the damage of the Trump administration is permissible and allowable, right, to get new party leadership for the Republicans, which I think is insane. You're basically saying, right, that the chaos of 42 million Americans going unfed because Trump refuses to feed them is allowable and good for the end goal of causing chaos within the Republican Party to get new leadership. You're saying that you're okay with the fact that 10 million low-income Americans lost health care, even though 50 through 60,000 Americans die per year via lack of access to health care, because you think that'll shake up the Republicans. You're okay with the 66 million American women losing access to abortion, because that will shake up the Republican Party. You are okay with 156 million Americans losing their purchasing power per the big beautiful bill, which took it away and gave it to the ultra wealthy, because it will shake up the Republicans. And you're okay with having an adjudicated rapist, boasted sexual exploiter, that knew exactly what Epstein was doing while he was his best friend and did and said nothing, right? Because it'll shake up the Republicans. And I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with the harm caused to low-income Americans. I'm not okay with the harm caused towards marginalized Americans. I'm not okay with the harm caused towards women, low-income Americans that need food stamps and health care. And I'm not okay with the president that sets to the threat in the American democracy and the American Constitution via J6 with his attempted coup, or the 5 infringements on the 4th, 2nd, 10th, 14th, and 22nd Amendment in the last 10 months.
I am not okay with that either. I do not like anything that Trump is doing. I just think that just makes it no longer like knowing.
I said I was only going to give him 30 seconds because he's too incoherent to get the point because he's so brain rotted. He was just about to say, I don't like any of these things either, but I still ultimately support him as president. And he doesn't understand that implies that he thinks that those things should occur because he thinks Trump should be president, even though he acknowledges that they cause harm. So I'm going to kick him. Christian, do you support Trump?
I do.
Go ahead and tell me and Parker why.
Wait, tell you what? What was that?
Tell me and Parker why the hell you support the worst president of your lifetime, an absolute threat and crisis to nearly every person in this country and the country itself.
Okay, well, I need to talk about this government shutdown real quick. You see, my brother, he's a lawyer. He's not getting paid right now.
Okay, well, now
They
he
can't
is
just-
because the government shutdown is over.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then he's getting paid. What are you talking about?
No, I'm telling you, he didn't get paid.
Okay. If he's
Well, he's a right now he's a clerk. He's not the actual lawyer yet. He's working to be one.
Okay.
Okay, so why do you support Trump? It's just, come on.
Oh, I don't. I'm not a fan.
Okay. All right, guys. So I want you guys to only hop inside of the queue if you're a Trump supporter, like, so we could avoid that bullshit. I'm going to be honest. Sarah, thank you so much for the $10 over on Venmo. I appreciate you so much for the love, Sarah. Sarah didn't leave a message, only love. Thank you so much. Then Anne, thank you so much for the $10 who said that last guest, Black Douglas, posted his political compass test results. He's a proud fascist. But I don't fucking doubt it. Carolina, thank you so much for the $30 over on PayPal. I want to see 300 Carolina W's down below in that chat. And also Susan, thank you so much for the $15 on PayPal. Carolina with the 30 says ICE almost deported Letitia Jacob, a Prima Maricopa Indian woman from Phoenix. She had her tribal ID and they still detained her. I'm so sorry to hear that. I just can't believe that that's what's happening in America today under the Trump administration. Thank you for sharing that with us. And then Susan with the $15 says, so tired of men stating it's okay to use their position of power to sexually exploit women. Yeah, man, I'm tired of that too, and I hope everybody else is. But we know that they're not because they keep on coming up here and defending it. Can I take the heat? I appreciate you for that Viking hammer. What's going on, Zach? Do you support Trump?
I do, and I know he's like really hyperbolic and bombastic. Like I get that, but I really do like his attitude, the way he deals with like political issues in general. What do you
the way that he's
like
dealing
about
with the
him?
Epstein files right now is to call them a hoax, and then is to say that they're a hoax created by Clinton, Obama, and Biden, but then to turn around and say that he's now directing his AG Pam Bondi to look into the Epstein files to find any information that can incriminate the Democrats like Bill Clinton, even though he's the one that said Bill Clinton made them in the first place as a hoax to attack him, leading to the very obvious outcome that he's freaking out. He's in a panic. The White House is in a crisis mode, and he's lying to the American people about the nature of the Epstein files by falsely labeling them as a hoax and contradicting that in his next breath. Are you really sure that you like the way that he handles these political issues?
I'm very sure. By the way, Parker, just give me a second. Parker, I debated you maybe a year ago, which is kind of funny. But okay, let me just say one thing before I leave.
Don't leave. We're here for a debate because we want an argument. We want to hear your argument.
I'm
He's
really
quote,
a
good at
fan of
handling
you
political
and-
issues.
I'm sorry. I'm really a fan of you, obviously Dean and Parker. I love your Jubilee fucking debates. They're awesome. So,
I appreciate
but
that.
yeah,
That's very
yeah.
kind of you. Now, do you want to give an argument that Donald Trump is apparently good at handling political issues?
I just came up here just to say that I'm just a fan. So,
Okay, so
I'll leave right
so you're not actually a Trump supporter?
now. Kind of, I guess. I mean,
Okay, I guess we're just gonna move on. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up into the box, guys. Only hop inside of the queue if you are here to debate me and Parker on why you support Trump as president, and please follow that rule. Please, 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 please. What's up, ADK? Do you support Trump? All right, we're gonna go to get that next guest up in the box. We got Jersey loading in. We're gonna try to load a couple people in at once, so hopefully we can find at least one person that's here to debate. Like I said, guys, please stay out of the queue if you're not a Trump supporter. I would really appreciate that. Ashley, what's up? Are you MAGA? Ashley, you have 5 seconds. Ashley's not here. Brady, are you MAGA? No, Brady's not here. How about we do we get like this machine going here, Parker, where you accept them up. I ask them if they're a Trump supporter. If they're not, I kick them, and then you just we just hit that cycle, and we keep cycling until we find somebody to debate. We work together. Okay, the dream team is back. What's up? Yes, do you support Trump as president? Nope. Yes is not here. What's up, Ryan?
Hello.
What's up, Sora? Do you support Trump as president?
I don't think Trump is terrible for America, which is what the prompt says.
So, do you support Trump as president? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think he's terrible for America.
Okay, so you do support the Trump presidency. Sounds good. Measy23, are you MAGA?
Oh, MAGA to the core.
Okay, wow, we got two. Let's see if we can get a
Wait,
third.
how do we do
row.
this?
See if we can get a third.
Oh,
row.
no.
Oh, okay. Well, that first guy literally just left. So it looks like it's just you, Measy. Oh, no, they're actually still here.
Wait, who goes first?
I'm going to mute you two for 1 second. John, do you support Trump?
Yes.
Okay, all right. We have 3 Trump supporters. Look at that. Parker, you want to do a 2v3?
Let's do it. Let's do it. So, why do y'all still support Trump, even though the emails just dropped?
Okay, so I feel like before I answer that, can I ask you a question? Is that possible?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
Okay. Well, Okay. No. All right. Then I won't. My question was going to be that I asked myself basically is it possible that Trump's doing everything he's supposed to be doing, right? He's good for the country, and it's just been nonstop, just trying to take him down. Is it possible that this is just another one of those? You know what I mean? You're quick to believe it.
Considering the fact that these were emails from the Epstein estate released by Congress, absolutely not.
What makes you think that they're fake or they're hoax? Or is it literally just because you feel like Trump couldn't possibly have done this? Or is it like some evidentiary basis or reasonable basis?
I would say like just take it back to like before this, it was collusion with Russia. It was
collusion
it's just
with Russia.
countless things.
So collusion with Russia was like an allegation, which was ultimately proved half true. Okay, right? But like now with these emails, these aren't like an allegation by a Democrat. These are just simply records from Epstein's estate.
Well, technically they're brought up by the Democratic Party, so I guess you can say
but it's not the Democratic Party making a claim. It's Democrats in Congress releasing emails that Epstein had sent.
Also, when Parker said that...
Can you respond to that? Hey, guys, can you respond to that?
Yeah.
This isn't just like the Democratic Party making a claim. These are emails from the Epstein estate that he had sent.
Yes.
I feel like that's a fair point, except for the fact that, Biden and everybody, the Democrats were just in power. Why weren't these released then? Right.
Well, so, I mean, this argument was popular before we actually knew some of the contents of these files to basically argue that Trump's not in them. Right. Now, the issue with that is now that we've seen these emails, we've learned that Donald Trump knew about the girls, knew what Epstein was doing, and was still best friends with him, didn't care, did nothing. Now that we've learned
I don't think they were best friends. He kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago.
Yep, you have to look at the year of the email.
Right.
Like everyone knew by that time what he was doing.
And the guy he was emailing was the Treasury for Obama.
Right. It wasn't the Treasury for Obama. It was Larry Summers, who was the Secretary of Treasury for Clinton.
And Obama.
Okay, so Larry Summers served under Obama too.
Yes.
Here's the truth. I wouldn't support Trump if I believed for a second that he was a kitty fiddler or whatever you want to call it. If I believed that for half a second, I wouldn't support Trump at all.
If these files, right? Here's my honest take. If these files didn't incriminate Trump, then he would be selling these files for $55 at all the Trump hotels. Okay? If these files didn't incriminate Trump, then he wouldn't be calling it an act of hostility to vote for their release in Congress, and he wouldn't be calling them a hoax, then in his next breath arguing that they're not a hoax because they incriminate the Democrats. If these files didn't incriminate Trump, then he wouldn't be saying that all Republicans who care are dumb and we should just all stop talking about it and ignoring reporters when asked about it inside of the Oval Office. Right now, the White House is in crisis mode because the country is growingly moving against the administration via an assumption predicated on the facts released in the emails and the direct contents of the emails themselves. If it wasn't bad for Trump, he would turn around, say, here are all the files, I'm God, I'm perfect, I'm nothing, I didn't do anything wrong, and he wouldn't be digging and hiding them to such a grave extent.
It's not that. It's that this is distracting America from the real problems. There's no CPI report. There's no economic data for the last
because of Trump.
44 days. It's not
because of Trump.
And
yes,
if,
it is.
If this was distracting the Americans from the real problems,
that's the real problem right now.
If these files were distracting Americans from the real problems and Donald Trump wasn't in them, then he would release the full files, prove his innocence, so Americans could stop being so distracted.
If it's possible that it is distraction, just follow me on this for a little bit, right? You know what I mean? This, whatever the next thing is, whatever the previous thing was, to try and, distract us from whatever Trump doing. Would you admit that, other than that character stuff that I don't think is true, but you do, is Trump is good for the country?
No.
For policies?
No, his policies are absolute dog shit. Like, he's not only bad personally, he's not only bad as a leader for the country, he's not only bad as as an individual, but he's also bad for the country in terms of policy.
Right.
Do you believe that Epstein's a good judge of character?
Is Epstein a good judge of character? Probably not.
Because the email says that Trump is the worst person I know, and you guys are using that.
Wait. Does Epstein know a lot of child rapists?
He does, but is he a good judge of character?
But not necessarily. Like, this is supposed to show as a mechanism that's bad for Trump. He thinks that he's like worse than all the other people that he's known. I think that a claim from a bad person about who else is also bad could be a valid assertion, like in this particular context, especially given that it's a private email. Right? That doesn't mean that I think what he says is reliable in general.
Like,
that just
Hitler
means that I think
Stalin is a bad person.
Like, I think it would be a valid claim specifically if it's personal people around them to claim that they're particularly bad or worse than other individuals. I think it's a reference. It's a basis for reference because he knew a lot of child rapists and he knew the type of behaviors that Donald Trump engaged in. He can obviously make an assertion, yet he was still close friends with him. So he's not a good judge of character because he decided to stay friends with a guy that is so horrible under his own perspective.
But he never claims to call any of the other child rapers like bad people, but only Trump a bad person.
Well, no, he said he knew lots of other bad people.
Okay.
Right? He just said that Trump might be the worst out of all of them.
I thought that these files were going to expose everything. But have you even gone through the Google Drive? It's just screenshots of books he had in his study, like some court documents, some financial information, a couple emails with Trump's names being mentioned. It doesn't implicit Trump.
I think the Democrats didn't release it when they were in power because all their friends are on it too.
There's no one's name. It doesn't expose anything.
That's the thing. That's the thing. All their friends are on it too. So what you're saying is that Trump is on the files, but so are some Democrats. My position and my response would be, regardless of the political affiliation of the affiliates of Epstein, regardless of what that political affiliation was, put them in jail and lock them up. I don't care if it's Bill Clinton. I don't care if it's Obama. I don't care if it's Joe Biden. I don't care if it's Kamala Harris. If they're guilty, throw their asses in jail. And that's a difference between me and you, because what you'll say,
I agree.
You all agree.
Yes.
I just don't think this is how he handles scandals.
His names are mentioned in the files, but it's not like, you know what I'm saying?
There hasn't been explicit evidence that shows he's been with a child yet.
So there hasn't been explicit evidence exactly suggested from the release of the file so far that prove that he raped a child, in reference to Epstein and the documents yet, which is why we all unanimously need to support the full release of the files from Congress. The only people that support that today are the Democrats. Why?
But I don't understand
why.
There's a few Republicans.
Okay, there's a few Republicans, MTG, Nancy Mace, 4 others, and that number only continues to grow, by the way. But why? Why doesn't Donald Trump support the full release of these files?
I mean, the day of Charlie Kirk's assassination, there was a Senate hearing to release it, and the Republicans did block that.
Right, exactly. Why does Donald Trump consider an act of hostility against his administration for these files to be released? Why did he sit down? Why did he sit down with what's her fucking name? Drunk drove, cheated on her husband, gave another dude a BJ in a movie theater. Representative from Colorado. What's her name? Does anybody know?
No.
You could be describing any one of my exes.
Boebert.
But listen.
Boebert. So, why did the administration sit down with Lauren Boebert and tell her to take her name off of the pledge to force the full release of the files? Why don't they make them public?
Let me answer your question. Okay. So, it's either one of two things. A, they're trying to hide that Trump is a graper. Or B, they realize, which is what I believe, is they realize that that's just going to be another distraction. Right, and they're just trying to avoid that.
Wait, what on the files would be a distraction that they want to avoid?
I think the files.
Okay, like for instance, if it doesn't implicate him in some stuff, but it's like, so he hung out more just Epstein stuff. It's just going to be a distraction from him actually getting stuff done.
But what's a bigger distraction? Like the House subcommittee slowly releasing the files in small batches, right? Incriminating Trump in a similar way to what you just suggested, while also growing more nationwide resentment and a larger call for the total release, or just merely the total release?
Here's the embarrassment. I think these files implicit past presidents, senators, and House representatives. And why are we trying to embarrass America? Like, why are we putting America on the stand right now?
Predators accountable.
And making us look bad.
To hold predators accountable.
You guys made us wait. You guys made us look bad by voting Trump for president. That's who made us look bad. I'm sorry. That's the reality.
The whole Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky, we handled that with class. Right? But what we're doing now is it's like a madness show.
Wait. So you think impeaching a president for cheating on his wife in the Oval Office was handling it with class, but yet then supporting a president who launched the largest internal attack on the American democracy since the Civil War by installing fake votes for himself in Congress, then having his supporters assault cops, smear their shit on the walls inside the Capitol, then pardoning them and calling them patriots, is also handling it with class? How so?
If he really is a child rapist, as they say, then impeach him for that. But it hasn't been done since, right? If there's all these evidence that both sides of parties have,
why won't you respond to what I just said? Because what you just said is that the way this country handled Monica Lewinsky and Bill Clinton was with class, when the immediate response was an impeachment. Donald Trump does something worse than cheat on his wife in the Oval Office nearly every single week at this point, and you continue to support him. Why is that? And if you want very specific examples of things that Donald Trump has done that I think are a billion times worse than what Bill Clinton did, feel free to ask.
During his presidency?
Yeah.
Could we get 3?
Yeah, for sure. One of the big ones is what I just went over was J6 when he launched his fake elector scheme to coup this country and rig the outcome of the election by sending fake slates of electors to 7 different key swing states that Biden had won, and he sent them with fake votes from those states that say he won them, and then he asked them to send those votes back to Congress, and then he pressured Mike Pence into certifying them as real, and then he told his supporters to fight like hell to get our country back, which led to them breaking into the Capitol, assaulting and trying to kill police officers, smearing
Let me ask you this.
on the walls.
Do you think
Patriots and pardon them? This alone, right, is around 1,000 times worse than what Bill Clinton did with Monica Lewinsky. I don't want a deflection. I don't want to pivot. I don't want you guys to muddy the waters. Just agree or disagree. Is that worse?
It depends. Do you believe that I hate answering your question with a question. It makes me look, but I promise I'll answer your question. I swear to God. But listen, do you believe that? But in order to do it, do you believe that Trump believes that that election was stolen, or do you think that he believes he lost and is trying to go against it?
Dude, if Bill Clinton believed that Monica Lewinsky was Hillary, I don't think it would have made it any better. Just like if Donald Trump believed that he really won the election, I don't think it would have made it any better. I don't think that it matters, because at the end of the day, right, he lost the election.
And he doesn't have basis for it. He doesn't have evidentiary basis, regardless of whether or not he thinks so. He's trying to undermine the election with no evidence. None of that evidence was accepted in court. 60 plus court cases, no sufficient evidence to overturn the election. And yet he still says it to this day that he won the 2020 election, right? At this point, it's either that he knows he's lost, or he's absolutely stupid and believes it with no evidence.
I think he knows he lost. He just can't backpedal from his
Can't all
words
three
from
speak
the
at
past.
once. You guys can't all three speak at once. Remember, we're still on the topic. Is Donald Trump's attempted coup of our government in 2020 worse than Bill Clinton cheating on his wife in the Oval?
Yeah, I hate talking about that topic. I just
January 6th was a very intense and bad day.
Yes, it is, because blowjobs are better than no jobs.
Wait, can you answer this question though? Specifically, is it like, which one is it? Did he?
Oh no!
Did he actually? Does he know that he won, or does he not? Does he not know that he won? Which one do you think it is?
He knows he lost, and he can't backpedal his words because
I disagree.
But counter argument. Bill Clinton did say he did not have. He lied to the whole country on live camera. I remember it like it was yesterday.
Yeah,
I was watching it with my dad.
You're right. I think that Bill Clinton lying to the whole country does make it worse.
And that holds
just like Donald Trump turning around and pardoning Rudy Giuliani and John Eastman, his two lawyers that helped orchestrate this fake electors plot, while denying the fake. Well, he actually didn't even deny the fake electors plot. He admitted to it in court. That's my evidence. But denying that Biden had won the election and still denying that until this day, right, is lying to the whole country as well, while actively covering up and defending those that helped perpetuate his plot to steal and rig the election.
I mean, I guess we all pardon who helped us. Didn't Biden pardon?
Okay, but what about the
doctor?
buses that were sent to New York?
What about the asylum seekers and the immigrants and the trans people? Don't forget the trans people too, right?
Is it okay?
Right?
Is it okay?
And women. Yeah. And the LGBTQ plus in the school.
Well, I'm of the camp that I can admit when Trump is wrong on some stuff, probably more than Trump can, but it's still better than the alternative. You know what I mean? I'm a Trump supporter, but not in the sense of like, I ain't gonna wear no red hat.
So how is Donald Trump, right, a man who tried to rig the outcome of a presidential election and coup our government, better than the alternative, who was Kamala Harris?
Well, the alternative was promoted as king of the Democratic Party without even going through a due process of being voted as the nominee.
Dude, this is a really bad time to bring up that shitty argument, considering the fact that you're arguing this is why she's worse than the person that actually tried to coup a real election.
I think he's shaming the Democratic Party, not her herself.
Wait, secondly, a vice president steps up when the president steps down. Of course, that makes sense when we voted for the Biden-Harris ticket in the primary. Everyone knew that Harris was the vice president. Everyone knew that it would make most sense in that circumstance for her to step up. That's why no one decided to run against her. That's why even Newsom himself, who would have fucking run if it made sense to run, literally was immediately going to give her his support right away, and did that, and talked about how he literally supported her right away, and didn't even think about running himself. He'd be the first person to run in that circumstance, right?
He still had his ticket left as the governor of California.
Okay,
and he still would have run. It would have made sense for him to run, though.
He didn't want to run against Trump.
JD Vance left his ticket as the senator of Ohio. So,
hey, Dean, I gotta go, but hey, listen, I'll start there for president.
Nancy Pelosi herself even said there should have been a due process, and
that's Nancy Pelosi's opinion. That's totally fair. And actually, I think that that could have happened specifically if it was the case that there was if he dropped out prior to even running in the first place. Like Biden should not have even run for the 2024 election.
I think he was
in the first place.
I think the person that's really at fault for the lack of a primary in 2024 was Biden. Right? I think that he forced those conditions. Which one? I think that he forced those conditions.
I'm shocked hearing that.
I think that he forced those conditions upon Kamala Harris to have to step up, and he forced those conditions upon the Democratic Party to forgo like an actual primary process because he dropped out of the race 107 days before it. But in no way do I think that this makes Kamala Harris worse than Donald Trump, considering the fact that a primary process of a private political organization is not a fixture nor function of the American democracy. It's not outlined by the Constitution. It is not an election of the state, but rather the election of a private political organization. Meanwhile, J6, on the other hand, what I just went through about Donald Trump's fake elector plot and attempted coup of the state was in violation of the processes as detailed by the Constitution, a function in a manner of the state, which is objectively about 1 billion times worse. Okay.
But it didn't go through, so nothing happened out of it.
Okay, well, you're just saying that he tried to coup the country and failed. I have a question. If a man tried to rape a little girl but failed, would he still be a threat to children?
Yes.
So therefore, when Donald Trump tries to coup this country and its democracy but failed, he's still a threat to this country and its democracy.
Because there's more legal things that go into it than someone taking advantage of.
Yes or no? I don't want a because. I want a yes or a no. Do you agree or do you disagree? Is Donald Trump a threat to the American democracy because he literally tried to coup it?
I think he's a force, not a threat.
Okay, so
what, dude?
So
okay,
it's not a threat to the democracy, even though he tried to end it.
I don't think he's a threat to democracy because he clearly got elected this second time around.
No, he's a threat to democracy because in the past he's literally tried to undermine it. That's the point we're trying to make. And he's gone so far as to pardon the violent rioters who beat police officers on January 6th. I don't think you understand how far that's going in terms of an undermining of the integrity of our democracy. You do not get it.
So pardoning
Cope. I just want nothing more than a yes or a no. Okay, and I think this is going to expose the pure copium that we're all like sniffing off of you two right now. Would it make somebody a threat to this country's democracy if they were to launch a genuine attack and an assault on an election to change its outcome illegally?
Yes.
Yes, but those weren't.
That is what Donald Trump did with his fake electors plot, where he tried to install fake votes for himself in Congress on J6, right? To install himself for a second term and void the voice and the vote of the people that screamed Biden, Biden, Biden. I understand that he failed in this attempt, but in the same way, if a man tried to rape a girl and failed, he'd still be a threat to children. Donald Trump tries to coup this country and rig the outcome of an election and fails, he's still a threat to the democracy. You can't deny that.
Yeah, but he won fair and square the third time.
Okay, so you're just saying that he won fair and square. It was one fair and square in 2024. That doesn't change that he's a threat to our democracy because of what he did in 2020.
I think the real threat to democracy.
I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear a pivot. I don't want to hear.
Can we talk about that?
No. Okay. I don't want to hear a pivot. Can we agree that what Donald Trump did with his electoral plot was a threat?
I said yes too. I think yes.
Okay,
yes.
so now at this point, we have gotten 2 Trump supporters to concede that Donald Trump did indeed launch the largest internal attack on the American democracy since the Civil War, and he is indeed a threat to the democracy, yet they still support him as president. Yet they still fucking support him as president. You can't make this shit up. This is a goddamn joke.
Because we're fighting the good cause. Look what Schumer's trying to do to our country. Shut down and not have federal workers pay for what, 46, 47 days?
Dude, actually, Trump himself has blamed the president in the past specifically for not being able to get people to come together and actually keep the government afloat. The longest shutdown in U.S. history happened under Trump. Not only is this one time happened under Trump, but it's also happened in 2018. He had 2 different government shutdowns under his administrations. He's been in office for less than 5 years.
But how many times did we try to reopen the government in the past month?
They literally just did the same CR over and over again without even negotiating. You understand that's not actually going to get the country to stay afloat and actually keep going. They have to actually negotiate. And also, they were literally, I just want to let you know, they were offered an amendment specifically to take the $40 billion that was going to go to Argentina and specifically to put that into 2 years for the ACA subsidies to be continued. They cared more about sending $40 billion to Argentina than they cared about reducing healthcare insurance premiums for people who are in this country who are American citizens. They don't give a shit about you. They don't give a shit about your healthcare access. They care more about sending money to countries around the world to bail them out instead of
America. Say something about that $40 billion.
So you guys cared so much about America first until Trump actually gets into office, and then you completely forget about it.
Parker, can I say something about that $40 billion? First of all, it was a $20 billion currency swap. It's still our money. We hold that money.
Yes.
And if their currency goes up, we're going to actually make some money.
But the point is, in the context of the bill, we could take that $40 billion and we could put that into people specifically who need it. And the currency that you're getting in terms of a swap is not stable. Are you kidding me?
But we're trying to stabilize their currency.
I understand you're trying to stabilize their currency because of the destructive, destructive anti-social program policies that they run on. Like the leader of the country was an extreme like ANCAP type libertarian, and they were literally rolling back different types of social programs.
I just think your party throws around that $40 billion.
The Democrats in Congress are goddamn patriots. Well, at least the ones that didn't vote to reopen the government.
You wanted the government to stay closed?
Yeah, because I wanted to negotiate to keep the ACA subsidies.
But you don't negotiate during the shutdown.
I don't think that the health and well-being of the working class is a negotiable. Okay, and if you suggest that the Democrats should have, no, you're listening to me. I'm speaking. You're listening. I don't think that the health and well-being of the working class is a negotiable. Do you agree or do you disagree?
I agree.
And that is exactly why those Democrats are patriots, because they told the Republicans, we are not willing to negotiate the health and well-being of the working class, which has millions of members that are reliant on Medicaid through the Affordable Care Act to be able to go to the hospital, to be able to get that annual physical checkup, right, and to be able to keep their premiums, which are already high, keep them from going higher. I mean, like literally, like the average family in Maine that is reliant on Medicaid, right, today is expected to have their premiums premiums jump by $16,000 per year, right, if these subsidies go unfunded, all right? The Democrats are patriots for ensuring that the Republican Party under Trump, right, couldn't spend $4.5 trillion on a bill to give vast tax cuts to the ultra wealthy, then scream, oh, fuck, because they're overspending, then try to course correct by defunding a subsidy that keeps healthcare costs low for millions of middle and low income earners in this country. All right. And I'm so sorry that you're blinded by your own prejudice. I'm so sorry that you're blinded by your own fucking parroting talking points of Trump and legitimate political propaganda in order to be able to see that. And it's incredibly sad and sickening for the future of this country if you're going to turn around and say that those Democrats are terrible and a threat to this country, literally something that had left your mouths just because they didn't think that the health and well-being of the working class was a negotiable. Yes, you said that Chuck Schumer was a threat to democracy because of the government shutdown.
That was lazy.
Dean, do you not remember Biden extended the ACA, what do you call it?
Subsidies?
Subsidies, yeah, my bad. I just lost my train of thought for a second. And he said himself, it's unsustainable, so we're going to set a limit, an expiration date on these subsidies. It was your own party who set that rule. We didn't set the rule, the expiration at this exact date. They knew it was not sustainable, so they set a limit to it. We extended the subsidies because of the COVID.
We have to re-agree on funding every single year.
Yes.
Like the subsidies, stopped going out for the same reasons that the money that was going into the pockets of the 1.3 million federal employees stopped going out. Right? Like there wasn't a limit set on how long federal employees were guaranteed an income. No, it just so happens to be the case that we have to agree on that every single 360.
The price is still the same in play. It's just not expanded. And it's going to go back to court. No, is it not?
That's so the prices are expected to skyrocket. I already gave you those figures and you could see more. Once again, the average family in Maine relying on Medicaid is expected to see an increase in their premiums of upwards of $16,000 per year.
Yeah, but you assume that these insurance companies are going to keep their prices that high. That's not how capitalism works. If they keep their prices this high, people will not renew their insurance. Their bottom line is going to hurt.
People will lose their insurance, which is going to happen. Actually, it's estimated millions of people will lose their insurance because of this.
And at the same time, these insurance companies' bottom lines will go down. The stock is going to go down. They're going to realize, oh shoot, we need to lower.
Yeah, they only can reallocate so much. Of course, they're going to try to do that to some degree.
What you're assuming is that there's a perfectly elastic demand of insurance, which is not
true.
Well,
He's trying to say that.
So if the demand of insurance was elastic, then you would be correct, but it's not elastic.
Mm-hmm. Do you understand what that means?
I don't. Educate me on that.
So something that's inelastic, essentially it is the case that if there's a large increase in price, there won't be much of a change in the demand. So it's like a lesser change in demand, right? Compared to the change in price percentage.
Don't you think that's going to hurt these insurance companies' bottom line?
The supply and demand are both going to simultaneously go down?
It essentially means that they can keep their prices high and they won't lose much demand. So they're still going to they're essentially going to profit more if they increase their prices.
That's assuming people are going to pay.
Since they have an incentive to do it and other businesses have an incentive to do it, and since there's not much competition in the market, that's what inevitably occurs.
Yeah, so this is for the same reason why emergency rooms can charge $10,000 for a Band-Aid. It's because
that's crazy.
It's because the demand is inelastic.
I agree with you. My brother just went to the emergency room. He got charged $8,000.
And the market breaks down. There's no, if you're in the emergency room, oftentimes people won't be able to actually look at a price sheet or anything like that, to be able to compare and contrast with other hospitals. They kind of have to go to this one. So that's why the market breaks down in these situations, and it allows for massive levels of corporate greed at the expense of human beings' lives. And I don't think that should be allowed. I believe in a healthcare system for all. I believe in a system that's universalized, that literally provides it for everyone. And I understand that other systems around the world have some issues with some of their systems, but we can build on top of that and do even better. And their systems are significantly better than ours right now. So all we can do is build up from here.
I agree with you, Parker, but
We don't.
I don't think the solution is just to throw more subsidy money at these insurance companies and make them richer and richer.
But the reality is that that's the only way to right now ensure that they get access to the care that they need.
Yeah.
Until we get a broader sort of policy that is going to apply to more people.
Right.
This is the only mechanism.
Right.
I understand that corporations are going to inevitably profit from this. True, but it is going to ensure that people get their access to care that they need in the system that exists right now, which otherwise would not occur.
Right.
Then
Like
why don't we
if
add that
Congress,
to the
if Congress
argument?
wanted to turn around, if Congress wanted to turn around and pass some like godsend healthcare bill just to completely renew and replace the ACA with something genuinely better and get rid of those ACA subsidies in the process, all the fucking power to them. Okay, that is not just what the American people want, it's what they goddamn need. Okay, but matter of a fact, just cutting off that subsidy, increasing premiums for millions by thousands and thousands of dollars per year, telling them to go fish or more realistically to go die, right, is just simply not the way that we fix this issue. And you can't just turn around and say people aren't going to die. We already have 40 through 60,000 people that die per year because of lack of access to insurance. Now what's going to happen when people's premiums start going up from $100 a month to $700? Okay, you are forcing, right, a day of reckoning and death upon the American people, and you conceal it by saying this is in furtherance of pro-American goals, which I think is quite frankly sick if you're doing so, right, with the knowledge of it, okay?
Dean, you're right. But now we have 40 days. Congress has 40 days to come up with something.
Yes.
You know? We have time to come
See,
up with
the
something.
thing is, all we got was a trust me, bro. Please, just trust me, please. We're gonna negotiate that time when they didn't negotiate the entire time that the government was shut down.
Right.
You understand? That's bullshit. I don't
but the
fucking believe
subsidies is
that.
not the
Donald
solution.
Trump
We should
hasn't been
come
able.
up with a real
Donald Trump
solution.
hasn't been able to come up with anything in the last 10 years. What makes you think that he's going to come up with it in the
Literally.
next 40 days?
Because it's
Literally
Congress' job
concepts
to
of a
pass
plan.
laws.
Bro has had concepts of a plan for 10 years. Okay, and I don't even think he actually has a concept. Genuinely, he doesn't even have a concept.
His job is to move the party into a direction, not to pass these laws. It's Congress' job to think of
What?
a law.
Wait, if
a
it wasn't,
healthcare
if
system.
it wasn't the president's job to influence policy, then why do presidents run on it?
He executes the policy. That's his
no,
job to execute the policy.
no. Donald Trump didn't run on executing the policy that Congress passed. Donald Trump ran on Agenda 47, which was a policy that he wanted Congress to pass.
Because he influences his party to come up with those policies.
Precisely
There you go.
that he runs on. So thank you so much for conceding. No, it's not the president sits back on vacation, lets Congress do whatever the hell they want.
It's
the
also
president
Congress's
actively
job.
influencing
It's
Congress,
Congress's
right, to
job.
build these plans and pass them. Think about the big beautiful bill.
Yeah, thank God.
Oh,
for that.
thank God for the bill that kicked 10 million low-income Americans off of healthcare.
Has it kicked him
The
off
big
yet?
beautiful bill.
Yeah, thank God for the bill that defunded Medicaid by $900 billion. Thank God
Yeah.
for the bill that's kicking 3 million people off of food stamps by defunding food stamps in the USDA by
On average every month.
$150
Or having
Is
to
it by
make them work to make
2027?
them work.
Thank God for the bill. Thank God for the bill, right? That according to the Center of Budget and Policy Priorities is reducing the purchasing power of the average American at making at or under $51,000 per year. Thank God for the bill that's going to increase energy prices on average by $500 for the average American household by rolling back and defunding clean energy subsidies that are that according once again to the CBPP are projected to reduce our output of clean energy by upwards of 72%, reducing the overall energy production in this country. Thank God for that bill.
Dean, how many simple Americans have freaking solar panels on their roof?
Thank you.
Maybe in Arizona.
There you go. Yeah.
Maybe in Texas. Maybe in Florida. That's it.
Yeah.
Does Parker have solar panels?
So what point did I make that you're trying to contest?
It's just like the
No,
energy thing.
the energy thing. Do you want to see the study? It's from the CBO. They're run by Republicans.
Yes.
What's this?
You guys have solar panels. Oh my God, solar panels.
Yeah, just go on Google. Type in CBO. Energy prices expected to soar because of big beautiful bill. Right? And can we also talk about the 10 million low-income Americans losing access to Medicaid? Donald Trump just said, "Fuck you."
When does that go into effect? By 2027 or right now?
10 million individuals
Yeah,
are expected to lose
it
coverage
doesn't go
over
into
the next
effect
10
yet.
years. No, it's not that it doesn't go into effect until 2027. It's that by 2027, this amount of individuals are expected to lose coverage.
But they have the requirements. The people know the requirements. It's not like we're just blindly taking away their health insurance. They're like, hey, this is what you need to do to have
like 40
Medicaid.
hours.
Yeah,
You are no. The goal of this was to actively take people off their health insurance. That's
by-
why they changed the restriction.
Not overnight,
And by the way,
Parker, not overnight.
And by the way,
not overnight.
and by the way,
So
I don't support a work requirement on Medicaid, and neither should you.
exactly.
So but those are the requirements. Are still
Yeah, but
very
you shouldn't
obtainable.
support that requirement. It's evil. I could give you.
Unfortunately,
an
I didn't vote on the bill, and I couldn't vote on the bill.
But this
but
is what should make you not like the bill. But you guys were screaming, "Thank God."
I didn't say thank God for
Okay,
this
so
bill.
I just want to clarify, Sora. You disagree with the guy on top, and you think that the big beautiful bill is bad? Okay, Sora doesn't have a response. So Mizi, you are the one that. said thank God.
My bad. I thought you were asking. Yeah, overall, I think there's some bad things to it, and there's some good things.
Okay, but overall,
the way you explain it with the people losing Medicaid, yes, I think that is tragic, and it's bad that it's going to happen.
Perfect. So what about you, Miz? Do you think that Donald Trump causing 10 million low-income Americans to lose access to Medicaid?
It's not like they're ripping it
for
from
the
them.
imposition of a work requirement and defunding Medicaid by $900 billion over the course of the next 10 years is tragic and bad?
I think they did that because there's some math and science behind it. People don't just do things because blindly, you know? Like,
So basically what you're saying is that although I could give you reasons insofar as why it's bad, you're just going to assume that it's good by assuming that Donald Trump had good reason
but
to
the
do
thing
it.
is-
What you're doing is you're treating Donald Trump like a god. You're basically working backwards.
I'm
You're not
treating
working
him like-
forwards. Yes, you're working from the conclusion to the premise, not from the premise to the conclusion. You're saying, although Dean, you could point out these reasons why this is wrong. Although Dean, right, we could obviously agree that 10 million low-income Americans losing access to health insurance when that's what keeps them alive in many scenarios is bad. You're going to basically assume that Donald Trump had good reason to do it, basically assuming properties of being all good, all knowing, and all powerful onto Trump, like elevating him as if he was a god, which I just think is absolutely so insane. I hear similar similar sophistry and similar apologetics from more Mormons and Christians when I'm debating them about theism. I shouldn't expect to hear this from people just defending a president. At the end of the day, the reason why nobody should support the fact that 10 million low-income Americans are losing access to health insurance because they're defunding it by $900 billion and imposing a work requirement is because we should never support work requirements on essential social services that make this country better as a whole and extend the lifespans of its constituents. Think about it this way. Imagine if we were to impose a work requirement on like your local police force, your local firefighters.
But
public roadways.
that's a socialism aspect of our system.
The reason why you would never support that is because it sounds insane to suggest that somebody needs to have a job in order to report a crime or drive on the road. Why? Because in many cases, it's essential to call the cops. It's essential to drive on the roads. These are systems that make society as a whole better off. But in the same way, going to the hospital, getting the annual physical, having access to preventative care is essential to extending the lifespans of American citizens, making society as a whole better off. And I think that you need to acknowledge that and accept truth and deny Trump.
Dean, we all know there's some level of Medicaid fraud, and if we add a few steps that Americans have to hurdle to, it's going to lower that fraud exponentially.
It's actually only going to increase it because it's now going to incentivize individuals, right? In some scenarios to like lie about working when they're not. So in all reality, we'd expect it to increase fraud rates as we would be increasing the barriers to achieving said thing.
You don't think people? Is it hard to fake a job? I don't know.
I'm just saying when you increase the barriers to entry to something, you're going to increase the amount of individuals that attempt to circumnavigate said barriers.
But we're not even there yet to see how these barriers or how we're going to check people.
Oh, okay, so then you're saying that we're not even there yet, therefore
you.
you don't know that it's going to reduce fraud, you idiot. That was a point that you just made.
It's because the attempt is to reduce fraud, Dean.
How's it going to reduce fraud?
It's because people are using fake people or fake socials and, claiming all these Medicaid claims on people, and you could just do it blindly.
Wait. If somebody could fake a social, can't they just fake a job?
I think that's a little harder.
Oh, okay.
You need a W-2.
So how about instead of just taking it away from 10 million low-income Americans that aren't faking socials, right, to punish maybe like the 2 or 3 that are.
And they won't have a problem.
How about we just specifically like locate and identify those that are like faking their socials? It doesn't take taking healthcare away from 10 million low-income Americans to target a specific group of people that may be committing fraud and getting access to Medicaid with the use of fraudulent socials. How about we attack the identity fraud compared to attacking 10 million low-income Americans? Come on, bro, that is common sense. And if you deny that's common sense, you're insane. This is literally like suggesting that we should just kick all 42 million low-income Americans off of food stamps because maybe like 10,000 undocumented immigrants are faking socials to get it. No, obviously the solution there is to address the individuals that are faking socials to get it. Oh, this is like saying that we should just kick all like elderly people off of Social Security because maybe like 10,000 people are like faking a social to act as if they're 73. No, we should just specifically attack the individuals that are faking the social, right? Like, come on, dude. Like, just think about it. Use your brain.
Don't you think someone in the boardroom
we should ban people from driving on public roadways so we can prevent people from driving on public roadways without a driver's license? Like, think about it. This is insane.
But Dean, I'm sure someone in that boardroom came up with an idea, and we haven't been able to do it for the past 30, 40 years. You know, like that's a very simple idea. It's very logical. But
I just explained how it's not logical. Address the analogies.
It's
that I
not
gave
plausible,
you.
though.
Address the analogies that I just gave you to demonstrate that it's not logical. A good analogy to you saying, well, in order to address like low fraud rates of Medicaid,
I'm saying
you
you are
take
logical.
everybody off of it. This would be similar to saying, in order to address the fact that some people will drive on the public roadways without a driver's license, we should just ban everybody from driving on the public roadways, point blank, period.
No, I'm saying your idea is very logical. I'm just saying we can't execute it. Democrat president or Republican president, we cannot stop this Medicaid fraud. We can't.
So therefore, the solution is to take the Medicaid away?
As a Mexican,
Oh, you are taking it away from 10 million low-income Americans. That's exactly what you're doing by imposing the work
We're
requirement.
just
and
adding
defunding it.
requirements, Dean. We're
Right,
adding
the
requirements.
requirement is what is taking it away, silly goose.
it on paper is taken away, but there is a requirement.
Thank
that's
you so much for
very
conceding. Holy
very plausibly able to execute.
Like
for the mixed economy,
I
as
have
America's
a
mixed
question.
economy.
I have a question. Per the reports that we've
rose-
seen from the CBPP and the CBO, right? Can anything that you say change the conclusion that inevitably the best projections that we have indicate that over the course of the next 10 years, 10 million people are going to lose coverage?
Is that projecting that no one's going to work?
That's projecting that 10 million individuals are going to lose coverage.
That can't work 40 hours a month?
I agree with Sora.
Okay, so now you're just saying that you support. So now we're
No,
going back
I'm
to.
just saying
Okay, do you guys support? Okay, so you don't support the work requirement. So you think that it's wrong?
No, we just it's
100%
a lot
is
of-
Okay, so wait. Okay, so let's just clear it up.
As a
Meezy,
mixed
do you-
economy,
let's just clear it up. Meezy, do you support the work requirement?
I do support the requirements, Dean. I do.
Okay, so would you support imposing a work requirement in order to call the police officers?
No.
No, because part of that is that's the socialist
that's the
aspect of
civil
our mixed
service.
economy.
That's
Unfortunately,
Okay, wait 1 second. So I agree with you guys. I don't think that we should impose a work requirement on calling the cops, but I just want to make it clear here. What are the reasons why you say that so I can make a parallel to Medicaid? What are the
Because
reasons why it would be wrong to impose a work requirement on calling
as
the police
America
officers?
so far, as America for healthcare is not a universal act.
That's not what I fucking asked you. Holy shit. Give me the reasons
No,
why
but
it would be wrong
that
to impose
goes-
a work requirement on calling the police officers.
It is the social aspect of our mixed economy, the firefighter and police force. It is given to us for free as
Dude,
a civil
you're
duty.
not answering my
But
question. What are the reasons
healthcare
why it
was
would be
not
wrong? No.
implanted in that.
You are not answering my question. My question for the very last time is, what are the very specific reasons why it would be wrong to impose a work requirement on calling the cops?
It's very wrong. I don't believe there should be a work requirement on healthcare or cops or firefighters.
Oh my god.
But that's just not how.
Oh my god. Why are you not listening to my question? Meezy, Sora, my question is, what are the reasons why it would be wrong to impose a work requirement on calling the cops? Meezy, you go first.
Because people could die. People could get hurt.
People could die. Wow, look at this. Did you know that if we impose that work requirement on Medicaid and 10 million people lose coverage per the CBO and the CBPP, people could die?
Yeah, but if you're a provider or piece,
Wait, do you just accept that? Yes or no? People could die. Yes or no?
yes, but if you're a provider,
Okay. Check this out. You said that you do not support imposing a work requirement on calling the cops because people could die, and you just affirmed that people could also die if we impose a work requirement on Medicaid. Therefore, in order for you to maintain consistency, you would be forced into concluding that therefore you don't support a work requirement on Medicaid either. Because if you hold to an alternative view here, then you're arguing a contradiction, that contradiction explicitly being that you don't support imposing a work requirement on calling the cops because people could die, and you do support imposing a work requirement on going to the hospital even though people could die.
Yeah, but there's no one saying that you don't that you deserve or like you should have fire and like police department. Your doctor can instantly state this person cannot work. He does not qualify. You know, like he can veto these requirements. He doesn't have to stand by it. He's going to get Medicaid because he can't work. You have someone there, an intermediate, a doctor saying this person can't work.
Okay, and very similarly, if we imposed a work requirement on calling the cops, we'd have an intermediate, a doctor.
But that
saying
would
if you
never
can't work-
happen.
Shut up, Sora. I'm talking to Meezy. If we impose a work requirement on calling the cops, then we'd also have a doctor, an intermediate, saying, well, if you can't work, then you could still get the benefit, as a work requirement would only apply to individuals that are able to work. So therefore, that's not a difference between the two scenarios.
I mean, no, because even if you don't work, you're still going to get police and fire. But if you can't work, you're going to get Medicaid regardless. And if you could work, you're going to get Medicaid also.
You're tripping.
So, like, I don't understand what the big problem is.
You're just not following me. So I'm making an argument that it'd be wrong to impose a work requirement on Medicaid for the same reasons that it'd be wrong to impose a work requirement on calling the cops. That reason being that people could die.
You're using an argument we already
No,
both said
Sora,
that
shut
you
up. I'm
agree
talking to
with.
Meezy. Shut up, Sora. Go ahead, Meezy.
I just think the two things are very different, and I don't really know how you can. The work requirement on the police and the fire, like, are similar to the work requirements for.
Yeah, I got you. I'll explain it. You said that you wouldn't support a work requirement of calling the cops because people could die, right?
Correct.
People could also die if we impose a work requirement on Medicaid, right?
Yeah, but you have an intermediate, the doctor, that's going to protect you.
What do you mean? I'm not tracking.
If you can't physically work, you're going to
keep
get
in mind,
Medicaid.
the work requirement is only for people that are able to work.
Then why can't they work?
Okay, for the same reasons that it wouldn't work for imposing it on the cops. Or the reason why you wouldn't support imposing a work requirement on calling the cops for able to work Americans would be because people could die, right?
Yeah, Dean, I agree with you on a lot of things, but I just can't agree with you here, Dean.
Well, the same reason applies. Your brain's just failing to function. The reason why you do not support imposing a work requirement for able-bodied Americans on calling the cops is because people could die, correct?
Yes.
The reason why I don't support imposing a work requirement for able-bodied Americans on Medicaid is because people could die. Why do you see how it's the same thing in both scenarios?
Yeah, but they could go to the emergency room and then they have Medicaid to help them out, you know?
So you're saying that, well, they could go to the emergency room. You understand,
like we have fallback.
You understand that individuals could die from preventable ailments that not even the emergency room could fix that could have been prevented if they were able to go and get a checkup. People die in the emergency room, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and because people die in the emergency room from preventable ailments, this argument is false. People could still die.
Yeah.
Even if they go to the ER.
It's just that it's unfortunate that the United States has a lot of chronic conditions. I think that's why Obamacare failed, because
so don't pivot
as a country, we're not healthy.
Wait.
We're not healthy.
Don't pivot to why you think Obamacare failed and address the argument that I just gave. You said no, people wouldn't die if we were to impose a work requirement for able-bodied Americans on Medicaid, because if they found themselves in a scenario where they were about to die, they could go to the ER. Well, because people aren't always saved in the ER and people still die in the ER from ailments in which could have been preventable if they had that checkup on Medicaid, right? Which they didn't have access to because of that work requirement. People can die if we were to impose a work requirement for able-bodied Americans on Medicaid, right? Even if they still had access to go to the ER.
Yeah, because the ER is the last resort, and yeah, it can happen. People still die.
Right.
Yes.
They will die from things that could have been prevented if we never imposed that work requirement in the first place on Medicaid, just like people would die from things that could have been prevented if we never imposed that work requirement in the first thing on calling the cops. These two things are identical.
Yeah, Dean, but from my understanding, people on Medicare are either people like, disabled people on Social Security.
Yeah, we're talking about Medicaid, which is low-income Americans.
Medicaid, yeah, like low-income people. Oh, yeah, you're right. It's a difference. Sorry. I always get confused by the two. But, like, I just don't see why they can't work or attempt to work.
Buddy,
Dean, I'm sorry. I can't agree with you.
Buddy. How would you respond?
Why can't someone work?
How would you respond to someone that would say, even though people would die from imposing a work requirement on calling the cops, how would you respond to somebody that would respond to your position by saying, well, they could just go to work?
You're calling the cops because someone's hurting you. That's another human hurting you.
All right. It's like, okay, you understand that maybe like people in these scenarios could work and we should incentivize that work, but we shouldn't incentivize that work through a work requirement on calling the cops. Well, I understand that individuals like could work and we should incentivize that work. We just shouldn't incentivize that work through a work requirement on Medicaid, because just like having the ability to call the cops will prevent unnecessary death. Having low-income Americans having access to go to the hospital on Medicaid, regardless if they're working or not, regardless if they're able-bodied or not, will prevent unnecessary death. It's a parallel argument. If you can't see it, then you're just not using your brain.
I don't see. I just think we've been doing something a certain way for like a lot of years. And I think we need to try something different.
Reality. You're denying reality, and you're not using your brain. Even though I've been able to make a perfect one-to-one comparison and analogy to one of your own beliefs. This is as hard and as bad as it gets for you because I was able to use your own logic against you. You could see my concept here perfectly clear as soon as it relates to calling the police officers. You're like, no, Dean, I would never support imposing a work requirement on calling the police officers for able-bodied, low-income Americans, right? Because even though they could work, if they're not and they need to call the cops, they need to call the cops. I want to prevent unnecessary death. They should still be able to access the police force. And even though that's a perfect parallel to Medicaid, low-income Americans able to work, not working, they could work, whatever. We don't want to incentivize that work through Medicaid because guess what? We could prevent unnecessary death by still giving them access to Medicaid, just like we could prevent unnecessary death by still giving them access to call the cops, right? In one scenario, you see it perfectly clear. In the other scenario, you don't see it at all, even though it is the identical logic in both cases. The reason why you could see it in one scenario but not in the other is because you don't operate off of logic. Okay, it's because you operate off of emotion.
Emotion, okay. I think you bring up a good argument, and I think you got me beat here, Dean. And I'm a big fan, so I'm gonna just call it a night. But keep doing what you're doing, brother.
Hey, you take care, Parker. Mike is yours for like the next fucking like 10 minutes, dude. I'm sorry,
bro. I feel you there. No, you're good. Don't worry. I thought you were. Wait, do you need time off, or are you just saying because you felt like I didn't have enough time to talk?
Yeah, because I was talking the whole time.
No, you're fine. Don't worry. I thought you were saying because like you need a second, like.
Yeah, I mean, well, that guy was hard, but like, you know, I just want to make sure that you're getting equal time up here. Hey, do you mean to have your camera on? I can turn it off if you want.
I did not mean to have it on. Oh my god. Sorry, I'm nervous.
It's off now. Do you support Trump?
Yes.
Okay, do you mind if I thank a couple people real quick before we hop into our convo?
Yeah, of course.
Real quick, thank you for the $10 Lon Cirque over on YouTube Super Chat, who says, Dean is a closeted non-binary femboy. You give me hope that society is getting more accepting. Also, love your streams. They're amazing. Yo, let's fucking go, Lon. Shout out to you, my friend. Elena, that is ELENA. Thank you so much for the $20 over on YouTube Super Chat, who says, these callers have zero idea how things actually work. I was bedbound 90% of the time with several chronic illnesses and had to go to court to get the government to agree I'm disabled. Your doctor can't just sign a form. Yeah, they don't know how anything works, or else they want to be Trump supporters. Thank you for the $20, Elena. Make sure to show some love to Elena down below, folks. If you're watching and you want to support me, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree in my bio on TikTok and in the pinned message on that YouTube stream. A couple more people to thank here over on Venmo. Ray, thank you for the 5. Hannah, thank you for the 5. Kelsey, thank you for the $10. Who just said ice pepper spray to 1-year-old. Yeah, I saw that. Completely terrible. Thank you for the $10, Kelsey. Kaylee with the $10 as well. Thank you so much. Kirsten with a 5. Kia with a 5. Alex with a 1. Thank you so much. Irma with a 5. And Charlotte with a 5. The guys, thank you. CD, thank you so much for the $15 on Venmo, who says, due process for presidential candidates like Kamala Harris, but not undocumented immigrants. Yep, because they're insane. Thank you for the $15 CD. Alexa, thank you so much for the $5 as well. Lion with the $10, who says, Trump doesn't have a fucking clue. Deadass Lion, thank you for the 10. Oh, and thank you for another 10, who says, Kirk fucking Republicans off food stamps and Medicaid. Sorry, not Kirk, Kick. I appreciate you for the $10 line. And then Stevie with the $3. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that so much. There's also a couple people here that I'd like to thank over on PayPal. So do give me one moment. Kathy, oh my goodness gracious. Thank you so much for the $100 over on PayPal. Holy shit, Kathy. Good to see you. Wow. Kathy with $100 says thank you for all that you do. Kathy, it is so good to see you, my friend. I hope that you are doing A-okay. Thank you so much for the $100. I want to see 1,000 Kathy W's down below in that chat. Thank you so very much. Thank you so much, seriously. And Timothy with the $10 who says, just discovered my wife's affair last night. You're keeping me sane right now. Don't mind if you read. Love you, brother. Timothy, man, I'm really sorry, man. I just can't believe how hard that must be. I hope that, you're keeping it together as well as you could be the day after you discover that. And I'm happy that the streams help you out, man. Love to you, bro. Love to you. Your life's about to get real complicated and real hard, real fast. I support you, man. Molly, thank you so much for the $10 as well over on PayPal. Thank you so much, Molly. Show some love to Molly. And Dennis, thank you for the $25 over on PayPal. Let's get 250 Dennis W's. He says you guys are killing it tonight. Thank you, Dennis. I appreciate that. I feel like I'm cooking. And Tony, that is Antone. Thank you for the $20 as well over on PayPal. And Jeffrey with the $20. Thank you so much. And Tony says, set straight, Dean. It's completely mind-boggling how Trump supporters continue to back him in light of everything that's come out recently. You're telling me, dude, dude. It's fucking crazy. Jeffrey, once again, thank you for the $20 as well. Let's make sure to show some love to Antony and Jeffrey down below in that chat. We are all caught up at this point in time. Seriously, everybody, thank you so much for your kindness. I really do appreciate it. We're going to go and get back to the debates now. Snoop, I think we need to address the obvious. You apparently have liberal reposts.
Okay, I just wanted to come up here to honestly glaze. I just wanted to say you're...
Well, I'm sorry for kicking you after you just had to wait while I was thanking all my donors, but we are just looking for Trump supporters. And by the way, I kicked you for being way too based, okay? Don't take that as a disrespect. That's actually a massive symbol of respect to get removed from the live. All right, Parker, I got to go pee. So as soon as we get the next Trump supporter up here, I'm going to pass you the mic and head off for around a minute.
All right, for sure. I'll probably be on for like the next 15 minutes or so.
Sounds good. What's up, Candy? Do you support Trump?
Oh, I did not mean to press that button.
Yeah, no worries at all, Candy. You take care, guys. Only hop inside of that queue if you are a Trump supporter. Everybody, only hop inside of the queue if you are a Trump supporter. Oh, remember Don? Remember how he ran away earlier?
Hold on. I'd like to say something. After searching, soul searching, and thinking over, I just didn't like Kamala. I don't know why I voted for the prick, but I did. I did vote for Clinton. I did vote for Biden in 2020. And I just didn't like Kamala. So I do withdraw my support from Trump, but not Republicans.
Okay.
And it's all because of you.
Okay, I'll take it. Yo, W admitting that. I really appreciate that. That's great. That's great.
Good to hear. Good to hear, Don. You put me through hell earlier. You put me through hell. I'm happy to hear that, Don. I'm happy to hear that. I'm very, very happy to hear that. Dude, unreal. Unfucking real, dude. Wow. I was not expecting that. Here, I'm going to leave you with somebody I know is a Trump supporter. I'll be right back, okay? For everybody watching,
how about you tell Donald Trump to do that?
That's the haircut that kid got. Jesus. Anyways, Parker, yeah, what, you want to debate? Let's do it. I didn't even get to talk to you about what I actually wanted to talk about, so.
Go ahead.
So you were talking about how transgender people, or I guess the I don't even know how to, correctly phrase this, but you're basically were saying it's like natural to be trans, right? But like you undergo an unnatural procedure to identify as whatever you quote unquote identify.
No, the procedure isn't necessary for the identification. When I say it's like, I don't know where you're getting, I don't necessarily use that terminology of natural, but I say it's like, it's not someone's like choice. It just happens to be their sort of desires, right? I don't think people choose their desires to be in accordance with this particular set of.
So you don't think being trans is so you don't think you're trans when you're born? It's a desire.
I think that gender is something that comes about like around, I think it's around 4 or 5 years old, but I don't think it's a concept that someone chooses.
Why? That's the first time I've ever heard that.
Yeah, like when I knew I was a boy when I was 5 years old.
Yeah, but like, I don't think like.
I'm sorry, like what? My concept of being a boy was not predicated off of gametes, chromosomes, or genitalia. It was predicated off of like these particular social and cultural norms.
That was the most insane thing I've ever heard in my life.
Wow.
No, I don't, because I mean, I've just never heard. So do you think being trans is natural? Like, you think you're born trans?
Well, I think that it's not going to be like a volitional choice from someone. It's going to be something that someone just has in terms of a desire. Yeah. Similar to like my desires are to be in accordance with particular sets of social and cultural norms that are typically associated with the male sex. I didn't necessarily choose that myself.
Like,
I just happen to have that desire.
It's that
desires aren't like naturally.
It's that you're born with a precondition, right, to be trans.
What?
It's like you're born with a precondition, the biological precursors, right, to develop this construct.
So what if you don't undergo a procedure to become or to identify.
Whether or not someone goes through the procedure is not the basis for their identity.
No, but I'm asking under your worldview. Like,
oh yeah, this is. This is a good moment of education. So, all that being trans means is to have like an incoherent. Sorry, not an incoherence. A disalignment between your gender identity and phenotypical sex trait. Okay, it means that the things are out of alignment with one another. Being trans doesn't mean like you.
Can you define phenotypical?
Like like physical presentation.
So you're not born like trans, is what you're saying.
I'm saying that being trans is a incongruence between your gender identity and your phenotypical sex traits, and you're born with the biological precursors to be trans, as that incongruence would arise at around like 4 to 5 years, as Parker suggested.
So if you're born with that,
of one's gender identity.
Yeah, I don't think as an infant I understood the concept of gender.
Right, like, and also like I wasn't born. Let me respond to that. I wasn't born 5'9", but I didn't choose to be 5'9".
That's totally different. Okay. When you were born, or whenever like you were 2, or
why are we having a conversation about trans people? By the way, I just
well, you were.
He wanted to bring this up because this was his like
bathrooms.
Well, no, this was his thing, like to try and like literally own the libs.
Oh.
No,
that was
not at all.
Not
at all. Not at all. I just agree with.
Are you going to ask me what a woman is too?
No, I'm not.
So why do you support Trump, Cubby?
Well, yeah, because I believe that the Republican Party is now the party of common sense. I'm sure you guys have heard about it. Because of this conversation that we're having right now.
I don't know. I think I sound
trying to tell me that being trans is a desire, but yet you're also trying to tell me
wait. So no, not just being trans. Right, gender in general is based upon our desires to be in accordance with particular sets of social and cultural. Listen. This is how I particularly use the term. I didn't just make it up. I've been utilizing this definition for a while. So chill out. Listen.
Wrong.
Wait. Breathe. It's okay.
I'm breathing.
So breathe. So like, if you want to reference this, it's a desire to be in accordance with a particular set of social and cultural norms that are typically associated with a particular sex as a prescription of identity. So it is a desire, and I don't think I actively like at one point in my life it was like, yes, I'm gonna choose to have it at this point, right? That doesn't happen for anyone, right? It just happened to be the case that that's how the way I respond to these particular types of norms.
Go ahead, Dean.
You can respond to Parker, then I'll
go. Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think, like, to go back to your point, like, I mean, I think however you're born, you simply having a desire to not align with, that whatever the social cultural norm is, I don't think that necessarily that doesn't differentiate like whether or not you are that said female male.
Wait, you could think that yourself, and you could have that opinion yourself, but that doesn't mean that my particular prescription of gender is incoherent.
So
we totally have a valid usage of.
I'm 6'4", but I can't. Not that I'd want to, but I can.
No, because I think height is an objective. I think height is based on an objective criteria of evaluation.
Just like
right?
just let us know when you guys are done with that conversation. Like I'm gonna be honest, Kobe. I came on here to talk about the fact that our president right now, for 12 days refused to abide by a court order and feed 42 million.
Whoa! Oh, you really want to talk about that?
Including 16 million starving American children. I came on here today to talk about. Why are you interrupting me, Kobe?
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
I came on here to talk today about the most expensive policy in American history that is fucking over the working class. I came on here to talk today about the 66 million American women and girls who no longer have access to health care, and the 60 pregnant victims of rape who were impregnated by said rape that are now being denied access to abortion, right, because of Donald Trump and his shitty policy, right? I mean, I didn't come on here today to just listen to you espouse your bigotry about 0.1% of our population. And I am happy that me and Parker have had a chance to correct it. But let's make sure that we're talking about your support for Trump, and the title of that is Trump is terrible.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think you missed the beginning of my entry to this conversation, but that's fair enough. So you said that you think it's the Republicans' fault that the government wasn't open for 40 days?
Oh, I do think that the Republicans caused the shutdown, but that wasn't my point. My point was that Donald Trump refused to abide by a court order to feed starving Americans.
What was that court order again?
There was a court order by Judge McKellen, I believe, out of Rhode Island. that compelled the administration to use emergency contingency funds through the the USDA, that's right, and the Department of Agriculture to keep food stamp benefits running during November for the rest of the government shutdown. Now, of course, the government shutdown's over now. The USDA is back in operation, but you refused to feed 42 million starving Americans by a refusal to pay out full SNAP benefits for 12 days, which I just think is a massive issue, right? If not even a court can force our president to care about starving Americans, then maybe that's not a pro-American president.
Well, okay. I mean, I think I can't really speak to that because I don't know much about that. But in terms of the shutdown,
in terms of the
itself,
thing that I brought up, I just want to clarify: you don't have a response.
What about the specific court order?
Yeah, you don't have a response.
Well, my
about the
response,
president not even caring so little about low-income American citizens that not even a court can force them into acting in their favor.
Well, I don't think. I mean, I don't think you would necessarily give me the full rundown on why exactly that happened. Like, I'm sure he didn't just do it just because he didn't want to.
Just want to clarify: you don't have a response to what I said, though, right? And I like that word "assume." It's very Kobe of you, Kobe.
Something I don't have a response is my next statement may have to do with that specific case.
Okay, well, so you don't have a response to that. Maybe something else I could bring up to demonstrate just how anti-American Trump truly is, to demonstrate why you shouldn't support him, right, is that he's launched a perpetual and intentional attack on the Constitution.
What?
Donald Trump has launched a perpetual and intentional attack on the Constitution, demonstrating that he is an anti-American president. One notable example of this attack would be an executive order that he signed into law his very first day in office, being EO number 14160, that attempted to take birthright citizenship away from the children born to undocumented immigrants on American soil, even though they've been guaranteed that right per the Constitution, particularly the first section of the 14th Amendment.
Okay, so let me...
ratification, one moment, in 1868.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Do you believe that do you believe the Constitution should be, what's the correct word to use? Like, do you think it should be updated in the sense that, like, should it be up to speed with how our society is nowadays?
So the Constitution is a living, breathing document that's amended by Congress and reinterpreted by the Supreme Court that should be changed when needed. However, that change should follow the proper legal channels as detailed by the Constitution and ought not be criminally changed by a wannabe authoritarian that wants to circumvent the power vested in the nearly 500 congressmen and women to amend it legally, and to circumvent the power vested in the Supreme Court to reinterpret it legally by trying to change it illegally with the use of an executive order, which is incredibly dictator-esque if you ask me.
Whoa, that's a pretty big
Wait, here, I'm gonna get off right now.
I appreciate you for coming,
all right,
Parker.
It was good seeing everyone. Have a good day, y'all. Have a good day, y'all.
So you don't believe that birthright citizenship has been abused over the past couple of years?
Well, I mean, I don't know what you mean by abuse.
Okay, so I'll give you an example.
Let's see if we could just
I'll give you an example.
Let's see if we could agree on...
Can I give you an example?
Well, let's see if we could agree on the base legal facts here. Can we agree that the children born to undocumented immigrants on this soil do have a constitutional right to birthright citizenship?
Like, that's such a broad question to ask.
It doesn't seem broad. Does the Constitution? It's not. Does the Constitution give?
Sure, the Constitution does. Yeah, sure,
okay.
Yes.
Okay. Second question: does the president solely have the power to change the Constitution?
Not solely, with the agreement with,
actually, amending the Constitution through Congress has no involvement with the president.
I didn't mention Congress, did I?
Okay, well, you mentioned the president having some power over changing the Constitution. He doesn't have any at all.
Not only the president, it has like other.
The process just doesn't involve him at all.
Okay, sure. I mean, my point being is that you just conceded that the Constitution gives this right to the children born to undocumented immigrants born on American soil. You just conceded that when Donald Trump tried to take it away, he did so illegally since he doesn't have the power. No, but I'm pretty sure he does
Donald Trump. Go ahead.
Does he not have? So you're saying he does not have the power at all to make any amendments to the Constitution?
Yes, it is precisely what I'm saying. Keep up.
I'm keeping up pretty fine. I'm pretty sure that isn't there like a legal mechanism where he actually can put that into place. Maybe not him directly, but like that. Maybe that.
No.
Executive order.
No legal mechanism. Not at all. The Constitution is the law of the land. All federal law, including EOs, have to abide by it. They can't change it.
Okay. I mean, I'm pretty sure I heard otherwise. But
Okay. Give an argument for that.
More.
Nope. Give an argument for that.
Well, if you let me finish my sentence, I said I'm pretty sure I heard otherwise. But if I'm wrong, then I stand corrected. But my point being is, I believe that birthright citizenship is being abused. I know it from personal experience. I know it from people abroad that use it for ways that it hasn't been. That it was originally intended for.
Does the fact that you disagree with the children born to undocumented immigrants on American soil, the fact that you don't think they should have a claim to birthright citizenship, change the fact that when Donald Trump signs EO number 14160 into law that he's violating the Constitution?
I mean, yeah. I mean, okay. Like if I were to take what you're saying to be true, then yes. But like,
no. The answer, you're lost, Kobe. The answer would be no. It does not change the fact. Even though you think that they shouldn't have that right, this does not change the fact that when Donald Trump signs EO number 14160 into law, he is infringing on the Constitution. That I've successfully demonstrated my argument to be true, which is that Donald Trump is an anti-American president that has launched an attack on the highest order of law in this country, which would be the Constitution.
I would like to say, well, so first of all, I believe I don't have anything wrong with birthright citizenship, right? Like I was born into like a first generation family, but like when I was born, I went back to the UK and then I came back here. So I don't have necessarily, I don't have a problem with birthright citizenship, but what I do have a problem with is it being abused. Now, I do think it should be amended in some shape or form. I mean, is there anything wrong with what I'm saying? I don't understand.
Yeah, what's wrong with it is that it's irrelevant. What's irrelevant because it doesn't change the fact nor bear any relevance towards the conclusion that Donald Trump launched an attack and violated the Constitution intentionally with this EO in furtherance of my overall point, which is that he's an anti-American president for attacking the Constitution.
Well, my point was going to lead into the fact that I believe he's keeping the Americans' interest at heart.
Okay, so would you say that one of your interests is the preservation of the Constitution?
Sure, but like,
would you say that Donald Trump purports? Would you say that Donald Trump purports a threat to said preservation when he literally infringes on it?
No, but like the reason why I said that is because yes, I believe he keeps Americans' best interests at heart.
So then why is his approval rating only 37?
If he sees a certain system being abused, he will do whatever it takes to make sure that it is altered.
Wow. Okay, so basically you're saying is that if Donald Trump disagrees with something, he's willing to do whatever it takes, even breaking the law to alter it?
Okay, well, I mean, now that I'm looking further into this 14th Amendment, okay, maybe then I don't necessarily agree with his executive order then, but I do agree with the
so then you do agree that he is like an anti-American president that has launched an attack on our Constitution.
I don't think he's anti-American because his act was to defend and
wait, so now it's not anti-American to launch an attack on the Constitution and to illegally infringe on it?
Well, I think that act is anti-constitutional, but I think him saying that. Wait.
Would you say that individuals that are anti-constitution are anti-American since the Constitution is the core value of America?
Did Biden not do the same thing?
No, he didn't. He didn't launch an intentional attack on the Constitution, not at all.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
I don't know about that. Are you sure about that?
Yes, I am sure that Joe Biden did not launch an intentional attack on the American Constitution. I'm sure.
Okay. But he never signed any executive order that went directly against like the Constitution.
No, he did.
What did he do?
The student loan forgiveness first round. SCOTUS ruled it's unconstitutional. I think that concludes.
Okay. What's your view on that?
Yeah, my view on that is that this seemingly wasn't intentional, as it was vague and was preluded to a new reinterpretation of some part of the Constitution.
Do you seriously believe that?
By the Supreme Court. unlike Trump, I mean, like there's just simply no argument that his executive order wasn't in contradiction of the 14th, right? Like the 14th Amendment, right? Like literally just says all people born in American soil subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens. His executive order said the complete opposite, right? Like there wasn't such like a clear like night and day unconstitutional aspect of Joe Biden's first round of student loan forgiveness, which would then demonstrate that either he's a complete dumbass and has never read the Constitution, or it was intentional. Now, if you want to give an argument otherwise, feel free, but what this would require would be you reading off the specific section of the Constitution that his first round of student loan forgiveness violated, and reading off how his student loan forgiveness directly violated it in a night or day fashion that would make it obvious, immediate, and intentional.
Well, I just find it hard to believe that like like what he did wasn't intentional.
Okay, so give an argument for that once again by demonstrating the night and day nature of the infringement, by telling me what part of the Constitution this first round of student loan forgiveness infringed. So if there isn't, and then reading off the particular section of the first round of student loan forgiveness that infringed on it to demonstrate its night and day nature, how it's an obvious belligerent and intentional infringement, right? Not just.
So how did they find out? So how did they find out that if there wasn't a night and day infringement, then how did they find out that what he did was wrong?
Because SCOTUS ruled.
Okay, so how did they go about finding that? But how did they go about that ruling?
SCOTUS just saw it and made a ruling that was unconstitutional.
But if it's not night and day, how were they able to make that ruling?
I'm confused on what you're asking me.
My question is, if it wasn't night and day when he put it into order, like how was someone able to find that? How was someone able to find the fault in his executive order? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Are you trying? I think that you're confused. Are you trying to like argue that it's not the job of SCOTUS to decide what is or isn't constitutional?
No, but if what he did wasn't constitutional, what you're saying is he had no. If I'm understanding you correctly,
like I just think that you're confused because that's like literally the job of SCOTUS, right? Like when we have something,
I understand.
The job of SCOTUS is literally like when we have something that's like not clear.
I can't even get a full thought out.
When we have something that's like vague, when we have something that's like not clear, then SCOTUS hops in and they spend like a month, right, dissecting the Constitution and pondering on like past interpretations and making their own interpretation. Like,
doesn't Biden have
the function of SCOTUS
do that before he puts it into order?
Like the function of SCOTUS is to say, well, like here's how we interpret the Constitution in scenarios where it's like vague and unclear.
Okay, so does he not have a team that maybe goes through those processes to make sure that the order that he's putting...
Exactly, and that team concluded that they have like a sound legal argument, and then SCOTUS was like, well, actually, we disagree.
Okay, then that's the answer. Okay, then
but that's not what happened for Trump, because there's no sound legal argument that the children born to undocumented immigrants on American soil don't have a claim to birthright citizenship under the 14th, unless you want to give it to me. But there's none.
Has SCOTUS made a ruling on that specific case yet, or no?
Oh yeah, on undocumented immigrants and birthright citizenship. Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So in 1898, we had.
No, I'm saying like recently, since Trump has put that executive order out.
No, there's two rulings: one in 1898 and then one in 1989. In 1898, you had U.S. versus Wong Kim Ark, where they ruled the specific parameters for who does and doesn't have.
What U.S. versus who again? Sorry.
Wong Kim Ark. And they inside of
Can you spell that for me? I just want to look it up like after we're done.
Yeah, WON space KIM space ARK. Right, and inside of this case, SCOTUS set forth the very specific parameters for who does and does not qualify for birthright citizenship. They rules that the one unclear section of the 14th was and subject to the jurisdiction thereof part of the amendment. And they said that this just really means that if you're within the jurisdiction of our country, then you're subject to it. Therefore, you get this right. They said the three categories of people who do not get this right would be foreign diplomats, right, because they're not fully within our jurisdiction because a lot of laws don't apply to them. Members of like militant foreign invading military forces, and then Native Americans, but of course that was later updated with federal law. Then the Plyer v. Doe case of 1989, SCOTUS explicitly ruled, pulling from Justice Gray's footnotes on what it means to be subject to the jurisdiction thereof, that undocumented immigrants are subject to the jurisdiction thereof, and granting them equal protections under the.
Okay, so can I ask you a quick question? Yeah. So don't you think, I'm not trying to be disingenuous here, it's a genuine question. Don't you think that Trump putting that executive order into action, don't you think he is, through that action, forcing SCOTUS to make a ruling on that action to either, denounce his ruling or to make an amendment to the Constitution?
So,
don't you think that's...
Point number one, SCOTUS doesn't amend the Constitution. Point number two, nobody...
I'm saying the ruling... Wait, SCOTUS can't amend the Constitution?
Yeah, correct.
So what ruling do they,
They interpret it.
Okay, so don't you think that Trump putting this executive order out will force SCOTUS to make a new interpretation or an updated interpretation on that?
No, because nobody except for SCOTUS themselves can force SCOTUS to take a case.
Right, but you don't know if SCOTUS is going to take a case in the future.
Right, because you don't know if they're going to take it, therefore you can't force them to.
No, but I'm not saying they should force him to.
Yeah,
but I
that's
think
literally
if
exactly
he is,
what you said.
if he is truly right, no,
that is exactly what you said.
No, okay, let me finish what I'm saying. Then, if he is truly going against the Constitution, don't you think eventually SCOTUS will make a ruling on it or make an interpretation on it?
No, I reject that, because if he's truly going against the Constitution, then they're just going to allow the federal courts.
So you're saying the law is not going to do what they have to do if Trump was basically...
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. You just didn't let me finish. There's other courts outside.
Okay, you see how it feels? You see how it feels not to get a full thought out? But go on. I would like to hear
I feel fine. It's just kind of annoying.
Okay, yeah, that's how I've been feeling this whole conversation.
Well, I feel like you're probably annoyed by my facts, not by my interruptions.
No, not at all. I'm actually trying to not have a linear dialogue. I want to learn.
Okay, linear dialogue time. So SCOTUS is not the only court in America.
I understand
and because of that, right, in response to this executive order from Trump, we had about 1 billion lower federal courts rule that it was unconstitutional, and SCOTUS could just simply leave it as that.
So basically, SCOTUS isn't doing their job.
No, that's not an example of SCOTUS not doing their job. How is that an example of SCOTUS?
So whose job is it to make sure that the president isn't acting unlawful?
The criminal justice system as a whole.
Okay.
Right, and the criminal justice system includes more aspects than just SCOTUS.
I do understand that. So what's the highest court that can make the rules? Isn't it SCOTUS?
The highest court that can make a ruling would be SCOTUS, but that doesn't mean that they have to, and that doesn't mean when they don't that they're not doing their job. Like, for instance, they just refused to take a case to challenge the precedent set forth that gay marriage is constitutionally protected by that gay marriage is constitutionally protected. Okay, somebody challenged that. They said basically that it is not constitutionally protected, and I'm going to act on that. They of course then got shut down by a local court. They appealed to a state court. It then got accepted by the state court. They said no. Then they appealed to a federal court, and then got accepted by a federal court. The federal court said no. Then they appealed to SCOTUS. Now SCOTUS basically just said, well, the local court was right, the state court was right, the federal court was right. We're not going to hear your case. It's constitutionally protected, buddy. Nothing new from us. And that wasn't an example of them not doing their job. That was an example of them delegating said job to lower courts. Right. Very similarly, if SCOTUS doesn't rule in this executive order, right, that's not an example of them not doing their job. That's an example of them delegating said job to lower courts, particularly the multiple federal courts that ruled that order was unconstitutional for the reasons I've already given you.
Someone just said this is basic. I mean, I don't think this is basic. I took AP European class.
I won't use words like that. I'll happily explain this to you. I won't demean.
No, I appreciate that, but I mean, I don't appreciate your chat saying this is basic. I had an interest in this. Like, I took AP Euro, and not that it directly had anything to do with this, but I mean, it's not something that was necessarily taught to me in high school.
It's civics. It's civics. Well, we taught civics here. That's fine. Go ahead.
Okay, I mean, I guess I'll look a bit more into that, but I would just think that maybe I guess you really answered the question. I don't really have to go into another spiel. But I'll look more into this U.S. versus Wong Kim Ark, I think. That's what you said.
Yeah. And the only thing that's important from the U.S. versus Wong Kim Ark case relevant to this argument is the parameters that they set forth insofar as who does or does not qualify for birthright citizenship. Because frequently, right, the response from the right in contestment of the U.S. versus Wong Kim Ark case is that, well, Wong Kim Ark wasn't an undocumented immigrant, which is true. Okay, he wasn't. So it wasn't about an undocumented immigrant, but it's relevant to undocumented immigrants because of the very specific categories that they set forth insofar as who does not who is not able to receive this right. And because undocumented immigrants don't fall into the 3 categories that they set forth, they are able to receive that right. And that was only further clarified by Plyer v. Doe in 1989.
Okay, I have two more questions for you. One, someone said they've ruled it as stay. What does that mean?
I think you're talking about injunctions. So, so SCOTUS made a ruling, kind of tangential of this executive order, saying that the nationwide injunctions that the federal courts were placing on it, basically saying that the CO can't apply in any state, right, are like now unconstitutional. Just federal courts can't issue nationwide injunctions, but that they weren't ruling on the merits of the rulings of the federal courts. They were just saying that the rulings of the federal courts can't apply nationwide.
Okay, and where's Matt? I feel like Matt could. I haven't talked to him or I haven't seen him around recently. I feel like
Matt's gonna give you the same information I am.
No, I don't. I'm not saying that you're not giving me like I'm sure you're giving me everything I need to know, but I'm also saying like I haven't seen him in a while. It just it just came to mind.
Yeah, Matt's doing all right. Okay.
Right,
Well,
cool.
at this point
All
in
right,
time,
thanks.
Yeah, you take care, Cubby. We are going to move on to the next Trump supporter, y'all. Only up inside of that queue. If you are an American adult that supports Trump as president, for the 10.3 thousand people hanging out with us on TikTok, and the couple thousand people of us hanging out over on YouTube, thank you so much for being here. Yo, a new episode of Pluribus just got posted on Apple TV. Let's fucking go. Best show ever. Huge shout out to Pluribus. Oh my God, what a beauty. What a total beauty. What a total beauty. What's up? Do you support Trump? Sydney is not here. We're going to move on to the next guest, folks. Only up in that queue if you're mega. Yo! Dude, Riley. Thank you so much for the $20 over at Venmo, my friend. 30 minutes ago. Thank you so much, Riley. Let's get 200 Riley W's.
Okay, so I wanted my dad to debate you because, of course, he's MAGA.
Yeah.
So
okay,
I'll go get him right now.
Okay. While he's grabbing his father. Show some love to Riley in that chat for the $20, folks. And Alexa as well for the $10. Thank you, Alexa. And Jesse with the $50 donation on Venmo. Jesse, thank you so much for the love. That is so incredibly kind of you. Thank you, Jesse. Jesse dropped the $50 with a comment. W. Dean. Jesse, I fucking love you. Thank you so much for your kindness. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for supporting this. Thank you for supporting the stream. You were awesome, 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 awesome about 1 billion times over. I want to see 500 Jesse W's. Then Serena with a 5, Fabian with a 4, Jay with a 5, Alex with a 1, Corian with a 5, Adam with a 5, Adriana with a 5, and Beth with a 5. You guys are awesome, awesome, awesome. If you're watching and want to support me, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal in the link tree, my bio on TikTok. In fact, I'll go ahead and put it at the top during the stream. You were awesome, 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 awesome about 1 billion times over. I want to see 500 Jesse W's. Then Serena with a 5, Fabian with a 4, Jay with a 5, Alex with a 1, Corian with a 5, Adam with a 5, Adriana with a 5, and Beth with a 5. You guys are awesome, awesome, awesome. If you're watching and want to support me, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal in the link tree, my bio on TikTok. In fact, I'll go ahead and put it at the top of the phone screen too.
Dad, hold on.
Okay, while he's grabbing his dad, 3 more people. Joseph, thank you for the $10 on PayPal. Who says, "Hey Dean, love you. Think you're doing amazing work. Keep informing the people and hold them accountable." Thank you, Joseph. And Amanda, thank you for the $10 as well. Who says, "I thought this guy would rather watch paint dry than watch your live. Also, your hair looks great." Thank you. Yeah, we brought the mullet back. And then Melissa, thank you for the $5. Wait, Melissa with the $5 just says, "Tess just gave a fake Dean $50 on Venmo." Yeah. There's a lot of fake Dean accounts on Venmo.
Are you up for debate?
Yeah, they scam a lot of money.
I actually got you for debate.
Might be time.
I'm busy right now.
Is it time?
Yes, he's right here.
Okay. Hello.
He's right here. You can speak. You're debating, basically.
Debating what?
Debating on if Trump's good for America.
Buddy, I'm working on my car right now.
Oh.
All right, Eli, come back later. We'll happily get you up here.
I'm working on my car right
He's working on that car. He's working on that car. We'll happily feel free to re-request later when he's free. We'll get you back up here. Let's go to move on to the next guest right now. Somebody in the comment section says the mullet and mustache epidemic must be studied. Oh, I'm going to grow the mustache. It is coming. It is coming. The mustache is coming. I've been back in the gym. The biceps are growing. I've been to the hair salon. The mullet is coming in. And now the mustache is growing. Okay? All right. Everybody in the comment section is spamming no. You, bro, come on. You got to see it first. You got to see it before you diss it. Come on. Yo, Disgusted Veteran, thank you so much for the $20 over on PayPal. Thank you so much. And Disgusted Veteran, I agree with most of the takes in that video, most likely. Thank you for the love, Veteran. Let's get 200 Veteran W's down below while we're still looking for that very next Trump supporter. What's going on, King Julian? Do you support the pervert president, Mr. Trump?
No, I do not. I really want to say one.
Super based. We are just looking for debates. You take care. Only hop in that queue if you're MAGA. We'll get you up here if you are. If you're not, you're going to get banned. You're going to get banned. You're going to get banned so quickly. You're going to get banned. A lot of people in the conversation saying yes. Some other people in the comment section saying no. It looks like a pretty hot topic. Very debatable. Very debatable topic. I don't know. I feel like a good mustache would look fire.
I love you, Dean. Dean, I love you so much.
Yeah,
I love you, Dean.
All the love to you, Taylor, but you are burned because you're breaking the rules. We're going to move on to the next guest. Burned.
Then you a bitch.
All right, word. Don't leave the live, or you are too.
I'm not. You a fucking bitch, bro.
All right.
Hey, look on your link tree.
Hey, look
on your link tree. Why you got donations on the top of your link tree if you care about social justice so much?
So people could support me.
So people can support you.
Yeah.
You already have support, motherfucker. You have 10K people watching the live.
Right,
bitch.
but if like the 10K people watching the live want to financially support me, which you're very pissed off by the way.
You're already financially supported.
Okay, well, see, I don't know. Like, here's the thing that you maybe don't know. Money, is eventually spent. Like, not
spent
like
how?
you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I do have to pay rent on every month. It's a job.
Yeah, it's a job. TikTok already pays you, and YouTube already pays you. That's your job, motherfucker.
Well, my job also includes accepting free donations from anybody. Well, not free. Donations from anybody who wants to give one. It's not like people are forced into. They're not forced into
bro, I don't
it.
give a fuck, bro. Hey, and you're proving like
Can I be honest?
Sending $100. Y'all are the party of the rich. Y'all are evil. Y'all are satanic.
Whoa!
Y'all, like literally.
Wait, why am I satanic for working a job?
No, you're getting money from people. You're taking handouts from people. Why they not donating to Palestine if they care so much?
Wait, we actually have done Palestinian fundraisers on this live. And
no,
for the Congo
y'all not
too.
donating to Palestine. Y'all not donating to none of that, bro. They're giving you fucking money, bro.
We've done multiple Palestinian fundraisers on this live. We've done a fundraiser for the Congo on this live. We've done a fundraiser for an LGBTQ plus charity on this live. We've done a fundraiser for, charity for homeless Black individuals on this live. And honestly, I think we should do more of those charities, and I hope that we will in the future. But at the end of the day, I don't find any reason why you would argue that the way I generate my income is unethical in the slightest. Point number one, you don't know that the individuals that support me also don't also support charities for Palestine, so on and so forth. This is literally like saying I like waffles, then you going, oh, so you hate pancakes, right? Point number two, right? Under capitalism, usually the way that goods are transacted for money, right, is on the basis that you will only receive this good if you give said money. In this live, anybody can receive the education, the debates, and being informed, and the content for free, and they get to willingly choose if they want to opt into supporting me or not.
Bro, I don't get, bro. People like you are literally why.
And thank you for the $15 over on PayPal. Who says pocket watching always
good job,
backfires.
bitch.
Thank you for the love, and Kendra. Thank you for the $20. Who says don't listen to him, Dean? Should I can you say
fucking
W, Kendra?
Pathetic, bro. Y'all are fucking pathetic. If y'all saw a fucking homeless man,
thank you so much,
y'all
Kendra
never give
and
him
Ann.
$100. Y'all are fucking evil.
This is literally
y'all are satanic.
You don't know that they don't give to other causes. Thank you so much,
Nah, you're
Levi,
giving
for the
to this rich-ass fucking
$25 over on
white boy, bro.
PayPal. Thank you for the $25 on PayPal, Levi. You sound fucking pissed. Who says love you, Dean? Thank you so much for the love. I love you too, Levi. Melissa with a $5, and then Valerie with a $10 towards the rent. Thank you so much. Rihanna, thank you so much for the $10 over on Venmo. Who says, Dean, stop forcing me to donate to you. God, I just forced Rihanna into donating $10 to me. What do I do?
Wouldn't even give that money to your
Serena,
fucking
thank you
mom,
for the
but you're giving it to
$10.
this
Who says
little
W,
bitch.
Dean?
Keep saying it. Go ahead, I like it.
Claudia, thank you for the $100 donation.
Good shit.
Oh my
Good stuff.
God. Claudia,
Your kid's starving
Claudia
out there.
with
You're giving
$100.
this bitch
Listen,
$100. She already made
listen,
2
Claudia with
bands today.
$100 on Venmo.
Good job.
Thank you so much
More.
for the love,
Come on, more. I
Claudia.
wanna see more.
Thank you so much for the $100, Claudia. Who says, stay mad, bro. Keep cooking him, Dean. Much love. Thank
Make
you so
it
much for the
500.
kindness.
Come on.
Claudia, I wouldn't bet them into doing that, sir. Raven, thank you so much for the 10 Australian dollars saying take my money. Thank you so much for the $10
oh my God, y'all
over
are
on
so
YouTube
evil.
as
Y'all
well.
are satanic.
Thank you
Y'all
so
are
much for
so
the love.
evil.
Yo, Peter, thank you for the $100 on Venmo. Oh
Fucking
my God.
satanic
Thank you
bitch,
so
Peter.
much. Peter, you're so satanic, bro. You're so cooked. You're going to hell, bud.
Evil.
Thank you for the
Oh my God.
$200 who says the MAGA
All
cultists who
white
talk
people are
shit about
evil.
the way that you make money while supporting the biggest grifter ever. Fucking crazy. Yeah, this guy supports the largest fucking grifter ever. Literally. Thank you so much for the $100, Peter. That's so fucking kind of you. Sonny, thank you so much for the $25 over on Venmo who says take my money. Thank you for the love, Sonny. Marjorie,
from
thank you so
capitalism,
much for
by
the
the way. That's the funny
$20 over on Venmo. Yeah, when you live
wouldn't
under
have that studio
capitalism, you
without
do benefit
capitalism.
under capitalism. No fucking shit, idiot. Thank you for the $20, Marjorie.
Yeah,
I
from
really
people
appreciate
giving you
so
money
much
and
for the
paying your bills,
$20.
bitch.
Maylee, thank you for the yes, no fucking shit, idiot. Thank you for the $5 over on Venmo who says hail Satan.
Giving this
Whoa.
bitch money. He has
Yo,
3
Kenya,
million
thank you so
followers.
much
He
for the
makes money from
$6
videos.
and
He
the
doesn't need your
66
fucking money.
supporting the grift. Brittany with the $5 over on Venmo. I really appreciate you so much for the love. Sarah with the $5 saying thank you for the education. Lindsay, thank you so much for the $40 over on Venmo. Holy shit, Lindsay, it's literally going so fast my phone won't even refresh, so I gotta go to the computer. I want to see
This is good. I'm
400
happy for
Lindsay
you, bro. I'm
W's
happy
down
you're
below in that
proving my
comment
fucking
section.
point that you're
And
a satanic
500 Coral W's down below in that comment section.
Good
For
shit. I like
$50 over on YouTube who says, why did you
Good
twist
job.
my arm to make me donate to you? Coral, you are satanic. You're going to hell. You're absolutely unfathomably cooked. Kaylin with a $5 on Venmo saying my fiance
Good
loves you.
stuff.
Sydney with a $6 says demon vibes, fuck MAGA. Hannah with a $15 says stop making me give you money.
evil bitches,
no,
bro.
you're
Oh
so
my
evil.
God.
You're so evil for
Y'all
giving
are
me
party.
$15. This is just to piss that guy off. Love you, Dean. Love you too. Marlo with a $1. Nathan, thank you so much for the $30 over on PayPal.
Wow.
Holy shit. Thank you so much for the love, Nathan. Oh my God. Nathan says, I don't know why he's presuming anything. I spent my ass off working at a junkyard to make $20 and gave it to a homeless man. Quote unquote satanic. This guest has never heard of the Bible. Dead ass. Valerie, thank you for the $10 over on PayPal towards the
there's
ring.
a girl
Amanda
named
with a $5
Kylie.
saying
She has
that,
no
saying
donations
that
in her
Dean rocks.
bio. No
Irene, thank
donations
you
in
so
her
much
link
for the
tree.
$10 over
All
on
she
PayPal
has
as
is
well.
causes
One
and
moment, quite
petitions.
frankly, Irene with the $10 says, sup, Dean, here's a handout. Trump sucks. Trump absolutely does suck. Thank you so much for the $10. Laura with the $10 who says, my daughter, Charlotte, and I love you. This guy's insane. Reese with the $10 says, has had a shit day, but you make me smile. Thank you so much for the love, Reese. Keith with the $10 says, guest convinced me to donate first time. Thank you so much for the love. Kate with the $10 says, gotta join
Any of
in.
y'all that
Serena
are
with the
black
5.
donating to
Mark,
me, bro,
thank you
you're
so much
like-
for the
you're the
$25
definition
over
of
on
Uncle
Venmo,
Tom, bro.
who says you're worth every dollar you get on
I have
donations.
no respect
The
for you.
service
If
that you do
you're
to this country is
PLC
priceless. Much
person of
love
color,
and
you're
respect.
donating to this
Thank you
dude,
so much
you're
for the love,
pathetic.
Mark. Show some love to Mark for the $25.
pathetic. You hate yourself.
Dylan with a 5. Elizabeth with the $4 and the 20 cents. Olivia with the $3. Lars, thank you so much for the $20
This guy's
over on
ancestors
Venmo.
literally beat
Thank you
and
so much for the
destroyed
love,
yours.
Lars.
You're giving this
Savannah,
bitch
thank you
money
so much for the
for making
$10.
videos.
Kaylin with the $6 and the 66 cents.
If he was
Oh my
black, you wouldn't
God.
give him a dime.
Dude, thank you so much for the love. Adrian with the $10 who says, here's to troll this crazy dude. Jessica with the $5 says,
I'm
Vito
out,
needs
bro.
to learn
Hey,
that
bro, you're a
tipping goes
bitch.
beyond the
And
clubs.
we know it's a
Oh,
grift. We
wow,
know
wow.
it's fake.
Wow,
You
so you
and
are gonna
Parker,
leave.
both of y'all are bitch made. I don't give a fuck.
Real quick
I'll
before
say
you
it to your
leave.
face, too.
Real quick before you leave, can I say one last thing to you? Real quick before you leave, I want to say one last thing to you, Vito. Oh, the poor baby ran away. Oh, the poor baby ran away. What was that, dude? He came up here, got pissed about the donations, and then started attacking black people, then left. Jesus Christ. Jesse, thank you for the $6.66 over at PayPal. Thank you so much. We have so many to catch up on. Jessica, thank you for the $7. Thank you so much for the love. Jose, thank you for the $3. I really appreciate that. Cami, thank you so much for the $20 over on PayPal. I really appreciate you so much for the $20. Thank you so much. Thank you, Cami. And then over on PayPal as well, after Cami, I also got to thank Victoria for the $20 on PayPal. Quote unquote from the party of rich and evil. Yeah, apparently. Drea with the 10. Destiny with the 10. Thank you so much. Jay with the $6 and the 66 cents. And Valerie with the $10 from the Satanic Temple. Sherman with the $10 who says, I'm black and I do what I want with my money. Thank you so much for the love, Sherman. Vivian with the $6 and with the $10 saying 666 from Japan. Vivian with another $10 too. Thank you so much. Amani with the 5. Amani with another 5. Andrew with the 1. Arden with a 10. Here's $10 to troll the crazy guy. Jessica with a $10 saying, if Dean is evil, then I'm evil too. Nikki with a $20 who says he needs to get his head checked. Thank you so much for the $20, Nikki. Keith with a $10 says, guest convinced me to donate. First time. Appreciate you for the love. And then Laura God with the $10 too, guys. Thank you so much. Alina God with the $10 who says, take my Democratic money. All right, we are all caught up. Wow. Okay, we are going to move on to the next guest at this point. That dude got absolutely so unfathomably pissed for no reason at all, assumingly. Let's go and get that next guest loaded up in the box. So actually, one thing that I would say, and I've thought about this a lot, is like under capitalism, I'd say the way that I like generate an income is upon like one of the more moral ways. You know, so like first it's predicated like off the streams and the content which we produce, which is to like raise awareness surrounding like important social causes and the presidency and American politics to inform individuals to get them more educated, to turn around and make a difference in the world around them. And then second of all, right, the revenue that I do generate, it's not on a transactional basis in the sense that you get access to what I do in turn for money, but rather, right, on a voluntarily basis of suggesting that you get to choose if you want to or not. And then for a third point, it's that my business model is completely compatible with socialism. Socialism is where the workers own the means of production. I'm the only worker at this company. Therefore, I would be the sole owner of the means of production as I already am today, which is like funny to think about. But let's go and get that next Trump supporter loaded up in the box. I'll only hop inside of that queue if you are an American adult that supports Trump, y'all. What is going on, Seven? Do you support Trump?
Oh, okay. I misheard, but no, I don't really support him.
Baseman, I'm happy to hear that, Seven. We are just looking for people that do, but you do take care. We're going to move on to the next guest right now. We got Christian loading up into the box. Hey, what's up? Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
How old are you?
There's some things I don't like about him.
Okay, how old are you?
I'm about to be 21.
Okay, and why do you support Trump as president, Mr. Christian?
Well, I just like the immigration, but I don't really like him right now, as what he's doing right now.
You don't really like him right now? That's base, Christian. I'm happy to hear that. How about this, man? I feel like you'll get more out of the stream if you just watch from the comment section and listen to what I have to say.
And I've been learning a lot from you and Parker.
Nice, dude. W's for you. Well, I appreciate you.
I watch you and Parker like while I'm at work.
Dude, nice. What do you do for work?
It's kind of like, I'm gonna be honest. I do landscaping. Like I cut lawns and all that stuff.
Dude, well, how about this? Keep killing it. I appreciate you for tuning in. I'm happy to hear that you've been able to take away something positive from the streams. I am disappointed, right, that you like still support Trump, but it kind of sounds like you're at that inflection point, and I think that is going to change soon if you continue to watch the streams. And you have a good rest of your day, Christian.
All right, I'm gonna keep watching, bro.
Hey, you take care. Let's go to get that next Trump supporter loaded up in the box right now. Like I said, I give the energy I get, right? And that guy was giving good energy. So let's go to get that next guest up here. What's up? Do you support Trump?
Nigger.
Okay, I'm going to go to take that as a definite yes, but because of the fact that you're underage and obviously drop the slur, we're going to go to kick you and move on to the next guest. Yo, dude, there's still so many people showing love on Venmo and PayPal. Tyler, thank you for the $5 on Venmo who says Republican turn independent. Thank you for helping me understand what true Republicans are. You are the man. Dude, Tyler, thank you so much for the love, dude. I'm really happy that I was able to get you out of that godforsaken cult. Pot, thank you for the $6 and the 66 cents who says Trump is just a dumb rich ass white boy and you supported him to that last guest. Yup. Lion with a $10 saying, take my Democratic money. Thank you so much, Lion. And Melissa, thank you for the $50 donation on PayPal. Bro, I swear to God, you guys are so kind. While we're trying to get that next Trump supporter loaded up in here, please show some love to Melissa down below in that chat for the $50. Let's get 500 Melissa W's. Melissa says, now that I know it's really you, thank you so much for your factual and interesting information. You're only 22, 21, and I've taught this very blue 58-year-old so much. I thank you, my sister Kathy, for turning me on to you. Well, shout out to you, Melissa. Shout out to Kathy. You guys are awesome. Thank you for the love. Thank you for being here. And I'm happy that you enjoy the streams. What's going on? Halio, do you support Trump?
Yes. What's going on, brother? Can you hear me?
Yeah. How do you?
28. Just turned 28.
Yeah. And why do you support the Trump administration after everything that we've learned about them in the last 48 hours?
Yeah, well, there's a lot to dislike, but I like to look at Trump on a broader scope. And the main thing that, because I feel that both administrations, if Kamala was in or Trump is in right now, they differ on policy a little bit, but really the same kind of stuff's happening. Like if you looked at like the Middle East or something, Kamala would probably be more restrictive, but she would still be supporting Israel. So really, I try to look at the overall what is shifting the Overton window.
Okay, how about
and
this? I
Trump,
want to jump in here real quick. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris was also pro-Israel. I didn't like that about her because I'm not pro-Israel.
Mhm.
And I also agree when you said that she would have been more restrictive in her policy towards Israel, meaning that she would be less pro-Israel than Trump. I also appreciate you for admitting that. But in like a bunch of other senses, that you don't see that same convergence of the party lines. You know, like when it comes down to character, right? It's just there's no comparison between the adjudicated rapist, 34 count felon that was best friends with Epstein and knew he was abusing girls and did nothing, according to new emails leaked, and the woman Kamala Harris, who we couldn't even find a parking ticket on. Talking about domestic policy, big difference between tax cuts for the low and the middle class and tax hikes on the low and middle class, while also fucking them over tenfold, but with targeted tariffs that hurt them the most, of refusing to fund food stamps, taking healthcare away from 10 million low-income Americans, and permanently taking food stamps away from 3. Social policy. Right? One says, hey, regardless if you're gay or straight, we accept you. The other says, hey, I support Christian nationalists. Let's put God back in this country, which will only cause more homophobia on the global stage. One candidate says, hey, if you're trans, we accept you. The other says, hey, if you're trans, I despise you so much, I'm going to direct my Justice Department to try to find a way to ban any and all gun ownership for you, right? Because you're trans, even though that is a blatant and broad violation of the Second Amendment. And I could continue to go on and on and on all day long about, right, how it is truly good and evil in so many different ways. And those are a couple good ones to start with.
Yeah, you're pointing out things where there's a more broader distinction, but in this liberal democracy, none of these things really matter. Trump might pass something, and within 4 years, well, if you could just let me just go for just a little bit. In the 40 years, Trump can pass these tax cuts or whatever, and then they can just get reversed. Okay, so you want to look at the broader window. If I could just. True. I mean, I'm on EBT. Yeah, the cutting EBT is not good. Like, I don't agree with a lot of his policies, but the main thing that he's done, just like in his first term when he got the Supreme Court stacked, he's done an even better job here of shifting the Overton window, of expanding executive power, of normalizing the expansion of executive power, which in the future will be used by Christian nationalists like me to take power. Did you see the New York Times article on 40% of DC staffers are groypers? Do you think that's true, or do you think that's not true?
Can you turn your camera on?
Yeah.
I want to see what he looks like.
I'm in a beanie right now, chilling with my gaming headset.
Turn your camera on.
What's going on, brother?
You're gonna take that power, brother. You're gonna take that power.
Do you wanna? Are you gonna?
You're gonna take.
Hold on. Let me set it up. I'm in my blankie right now.
You're gonna take that power. That's right. That's right. You're gonna take it.
No, I'm not gonna take power because like I'm a freak in a basement, but other people will. What I'm good at is debating, though. I can debate online. That's why I'm trying to debate you on this right now. Okay. Do you want to debate on this?
So Christian nationalism good?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it will save America. It will save the West, not just America.
Yeah. Quick question, just out of curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
What race was Jesus?
Well, Jesus was, if you look at modern scientists will say he's most close. Brother.
What was the?
I don't know why you're so ecstatic right now. Like, just give me a.
Let's just get it.
Olive. He was olive skin, brown.
Brown.
Well, whatever you want to say. He had Anatolian DNA. They say he most likely looked like the Samaritans in the West Bank.
So he had brown.
So if you Google the Samaritans in the West Bank, yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Happy you can admit that. Okay. First question about Christian nationalism. Would you argue that what should be illegal is what is a sin?
It would depend, because it would depend on the level that we are able to enforce it. And not everything. Well, I'm Catholic, but it wouldn't really matter because we wouldn't impose I of course, way in the future would advocate for a Catholic, kind of monarchy to an extent, but that's just my personal ideology. Really what we need right now is just broad Christian nationalism, adherence to the Nicene Creed is all you have to do to be that.
Okay, so you'd argue that we should like dictate broad Christian nationalism through sola scriptura, or would there be some magisterium involved?
No, I'm Catholic, so.
But I mean, you said that was the end goal, but for now we just need broad Christian nationalism. So would the magisterium be involved from the beginning?
No, that's like royalism. You mean the literal magisterium of the Catholic Church?
The magisterium of the Catholic Church, the normative authority that they hold.
Yeah, no, they would have no involvement, and I wouldn't have. I'm not a royalist, anyways. Even my end goal isn't royalism.
So because there would be no involvement of the normative authority of church fathers through the magisterium, you'd be arguing that to begin with, it would be the implementation of broad sweeping Christian nationalism under like interpretation of what would be functionally sola scriptura.
No, it would be no.
Okay, so then there would
no, I don't.
So then you think
you mean in law? You mean in law?
So then you do think that the state would be at the behest of the magisterium?
No, the state can recognize certain traditional things. Even, I mean, you can lead me to water here. What are you trying to? Sola scriptura, sure.
I'm not trying to lead you to water. I'm just trying to like understand the view so I could refute it.
Yeah, well, sure. So let me go then. Just broad Christian nationalism would mean only Christians in government, and then ruling, yes, based upon Christian morality. This would I was also advocate for, the Catholic social view of redistributism. I'm probably saying that wrong, or distributism.
So do you think it should
and I
be
think that would be very good for the country.
Do you think it should be illegal to cheat since it's a sin?
Should it be illegal to cheat?
Yeah.
When it comes to marital stuff, it should be illegal to cheat, but there would also be a bunch of other things that are illegal. Like, of course, we would repeal no-fault divorce. No-fault divorce would go out the door.
Should it be illegal? Should it be illegal? I'll turn my mic up, by the way. I got you guys. Boom! All of a sudden, the mic is up. Should it be illegal to, like, lie?
Well, it matters if you like lied within the context of like a business deal or something. Like, I think that's already illegal. Well, no, it's actually really not.
Should it be illegal?
So yeah, in certain cases. And
why in certain cases when the Ten Commandments just says thou shalt not bear false witness, knowing also that they hold to Kantian deontics, meaning that God's not a consequentialist, right? It's wrong to lie regardless of the utility that it generates. That's just a deontic fact. So therefore, right, because the Bible says you shouldn't lie, period. Lying is a sin, period. Then why shouldn't it be illegal
regardless
to lie, period?
Because of the enforcement of it.
Okay, so
we could say it's illegal, but
if it were practically possible to enforce legislation against all lies, then would you support criminalizing all lies?
Yeah, but the problem is we do. I don't know what's so funny, man.
Because
I'm trying to be good faith with you, and
I understand. I was
about to elaborate more. I was about to elaborate more. Well, the thing is we can't in this, in temporal fallen world, we cannot enforce certain things. There is going to be sin no matter what. And yes, you actually touched on like a Phil point there that lying is always wrong. Even if someone has a pew to like 4 of your children's head and all you have to do to lie is get them out, the action of lying is wrong. Even in self-defense, when you unalive someone, the action of unaliving them is wrong,
right.
But you are still justified within that. Okay, so there could be some lies that are like temporally justified, right? And God will judge that.
Would it be
because we don't have the knowledge to judge certain things.
Would it be justified
the things that we do have certain knowledge?
Would it be justified on the basis of your own personal preferences or on the basis of the scripture?
A combination of both. I mean, I would say my personal preferences are in objectives, but then of course we only have like so many objectives. So we would end up using. I'm conceding to you that we would end up using personal preferences in some regard around these objective principles.
Okay, so if you're saying that we would use personal preferences, within this like Christian theocratic world, well then who's
I'm just saying this is what would happen.
Because because this would happen because it would be impossible to effectively govern, right, a state solely on the basis of Christianity, as Christianity gives us no clear distinction between the wrongness of sins. Christianity does not invoke any type of utilitarianism as it would relate to saying, well, maybe this one sin is not a sin if it would promote like the greater good outcome. It's just a deontic
No, yeah, I'm
principle
Catholic.
saying this is wrong, full stop, right? Meaning that like there would be no legal basis for self-defense under this Christian theocratic world.
No,
you would argue
that's not
that
true
if
at all.
practical, then we should, then it should be the case that it should be illegal to lie in all scenarios, even if a simple white lie would save a family of 5 from getting violently tortured, raped, and killed.
No,
so on and
no.
so forth. What is the basis inside of the Bible to argue that it is not a sin to lie, even if said lie would prevent the torture, rape, and killing of a family of 5?
Well, I'm not sola scriptura. So again, and I I don't accept this basis that laws would only be on sola scriptura.
So then what's the basis even within Catholic tradition?
No, but you do have an understanding.
Answer my
The
question.
lie is,
What is the basis within the magisterium of the Catholic Church and normative church authority to argue that it's sometimes okay to lie?
Sure. You're trying to pinpoint holes in like small little in the weeds subjects instead of looking at the broader topic.
This isn't small nor
Brother,
in the
let me
weeds at all.
respond. Let me respond.
Yeah, it's
so,
just
for
not in the
example,
weeds.
just war theory, right? Okay, so this is tradition that justifies war. It justifies mass unalivement. The Crusades were justified, at least the first Crusade. It was justified. Do actions happen within the Crusades, for example, that are immoral? Is unaliving always immoral? Yes, but to an extent, it is on a spectrum of this can be morally justified, even though the action itself is wrong because we are in a fallen world, we are in sin.
That's a contradiction.
But you're trying to poke in the weeds.
That's a contradiction.
No, it's not a contradiction.
I'll tell you what the
It's not.
contradiction is explicitly.
People have debated this for
No. I'll tell you.
2,000 years, man. I promise you.
I'm
You
saying
don't got the answer.
I'm saying the idiotic shit that you just said was contradictory. The answer is very
Okay.
simple. The idiotic
Mhm.
shit that you just said that's contradictory was suggesting that it's morally justified and it's morally wrong, when the statement that it's morally justified would be equivalent to the statement that it's not morally wrong, meaning it's permissible or good. Right? So the explicit contradiction is it is simultaneously wrong and not wrong to do these things.
No,
Because it's
justified does
morally
not mean
justified.
good.
What it means permissible or good. Or obligatory.
Permissible doesn't mean good.
I know those are separate categories.
I don't know why you're using
That's why I said
so I wouldn't say
that's why I
it's
said
good.
permissible or good. That obviously would imply that permissibility is different from goodness or obligatory or an obligation due to the fact that I listed them as different categories. You're not following.
Okay. So can you address the just war theory claim?
Well, I mean,
prefer to stick on on government.
So I just addressed a contradiction in your view. You said that these actions, right, of like murdering people in the name of war,
I don't need to get
justified
muted. I
and
don't
bad
interrupt you.
simultaneously.
Like, say again?
Yeah, so I did address it by pointing out a contradiction in your view when you said that it's morally just and morally unjust simultaneously.
Okay, so you think just war theory is contradictory?
Well, I think whatever you just said was contradictory.
that can be your opinion. Again,
No,
I'm giving you
that's not
how
my
it would
opinion. That's what
operate.
you just said. You said it is simultaneously morally justified and morally wrong when moral wrongness amounts to...
No. I said the unalivement is morally wrong. Okay.
Okay.
Like unalivement in general, like anytime someone is unalived, that is bad because unalivement is bad.
Okay, and what
but
makes
there
something
are
bad is the fact that it's a
situations
sin.
in which you can.
Right?
No, the sin. There's
Wait!
no, you
something
can
be morally wrong without being a sin under the Christian
No, I'm
worldview?
not talking about morally wrong. I said bad. Someone unaliving can be bad in itself.
Wait. When you say bad, what do you mean? Do you mean that it shouldn't occur?
No, I mean that it is
what do
great
you mean by bad?
unnecessary. It's unnecessary suffering.
Wait, under the Christian worldview, should unnecessary suffering occur?
No, all suffering that occurs is necessary.
Okay, so all suffering that occurs.
But
is
we can
necessary.
try and prevent that temporally.
Okay.
So if that's
wait, that's not even the question that I asked you. So you're giving me the flip side of the coin. I asked you, under the Christian worldview.
Dude, I keep getting muted so much and I don't interrupt you. Can you please control your mods?
Wait. You just contradicted yourself again. Because in one breath, you said that unaliving is bad. Then I was like, what do you mean by bad? Then you said unnecessary suffering. Therefore, you said that all unaliving is unnecessary suffering.
I was referring to...
No, stop interrupting me. Stop interrupting me.
Go ahead.
You said that unaliving is bad. I asked you what you mean by bad. You said it's unnecessary suffering. Then I was like, well, do you think that unnecessary suffering should occur under the Christian worldview? Then you went on to say that no unnecessary suffering occurs under the Christian worldview. Therefore, when you told me that unaliving was unnecessary suffering, you'd be wrong considering the fact that you just posited that no unnecessary suffering occurs under the Christian worldview. So you're either denying that God exists and that the Christian worldview is false because unnecessary suffering occurs, or you're denying that you were right when you said unnecessary suffering occurs, amounting to the fourth concession in the last 15 minutes. This poor child. Go ahead. You're muted.
Please, I'm not even interrupting you. Please get your people. Yeah. So any suffering that happens, if an unalivement happens, okay, that was necessary. Okay. But we temporally can recognize what we consider suffering and try and restrict that. And we can consider that unnecessary or preventable or help it in some way, or else we wouldn't be the largest charity organization on earth. Again, you're trying to pivot this heavily to a theology debate, which I do not main in. I can defend my faith to an extent, but I'm trying to address the American government, okay? American politics,
I don't
Christian
think that
nationalism.
I don't think that it's logically necessary that under the Christian worldview, all suffering is necessary.
Did you just hear anything I just said?
Yeah. You said that you didn't want to debate theology. And I ignored it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Why?
Of course
you wanted to debate government. I thought you wanted to debate.
Of course,
I
we're going to
engage
debate
with you on theology a bit.
Listen. Of course, we're going to debate theology when you tell me that you want a theocratic government.
But it doesn't even need to be true to be the best. It doesn't even need to be true. I can use my own subjective index standard preferences of utilitarianism and stuff like that to justify Christian nationalism. So I don't need to be, some theological. I don't need to be scholastic answers up here because I'm a politics world builder debater. That's what I debate. You've been debating people nonstop on the American government and Trump being bad for it. I came up here and you want to do theology. I engaged with you for a bit. That's fine. But I'm guessing I don't have much more time up here. So I want to stick to American government and how Christian nationalism would be bad for it. And how your worldview of neoliberalism is not destroying this country completely.
I got this. So yeah, here's where you move on from trying to argue that it is the case that we should have a theocratic government because Catholicism is true, to now rather arguing that we should have a theocratic government because you believe it is what produces the best outcomes. The very obvious counter argument here would be if it was the case that Mormonism produced better outcomes as a theocratic body compared to Catholicism, would you then say that we should have a Mormon theocratic government?
No, I'm guessing you have the birth rate stat in your hand or in your head, right? I guess that's.
I said if it was the case that Mormonism produced.
See, I can.
I said if it was the case that Mormonism.
I just read your mind there, didn't I?
No, you didn't, because I said if it was the case.
You
that
had the birth rate stat in your head.
So I'll ask again: if Mormonism produced better real world outcomes as a theocratic.
No, utilitarian.
As a theocratic body compared to that of Catholicism, would you then endorse a Mormon theocratic government?
No, because it's not just utilitarianism. I mentioned utilitarianism, but also the most moral.
Oh,
it is the most moral. Yes.
Wait, what is utilitarianism?
Wait,
Haleo, what is utilitarianism?
Production of like the best material conditions or whatever to an extent.
No, I think that you're just completely like confused, right? Because you just said that there's a distinction, right, between dictating with the use of utilitarian framework that Mormonism would be the best theocratic governing body and what would be the most moral theocratic body. Because if we're operating under the moral framework of utilitarianism and Mormonism produced better real world outcomes and consequences compared to Catholicism, then it would be the most moral moral theocratic body, as utilitarianism is no, don't interrupt me. As utilitarianism is a normative moral framework. You fucking idiot. I'm sorry for calling you an idiot. I just couldn't hold back there. So in other words, basically what you're arguing,
everything's going to be all right. Calm down, dude.
In other words, basically what you're arguing here, right, is if you don't think what would produce the best utilitarian outcomes is the most moral, then you don't think that utilitarianism is a valid normative moral framework. So why the hell would you be using a moral framework that you think is invalid to dictate which religion should be our governing theocratic body? If you need me to repeat the question or explain it to you, feel free to ask. I just want to make sure that I get a direct answer.
Yeah, so you can combine utilitarianism and morality at the same time. You're saying that under utilitarianism, the Mormons
framework.
I'm saying you can take in sprinkles of utilitarianism. I'm not saying you have to completely 100% follow utilitarianism, or that my worldview would be going after 100% utilitarianism. I'm saying the goals of utilitarianism would partially be fulfilled, combined with the morality of the system. Again, you're also strawmanning with this whole Mormon Catholic thing. I'm not advocating for. I'm not advocating.
By the way, everything you just said was gibberish,
brother. I don't even get 10 seconds.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just had to let you know.
What was gibberish? What was gibberish?
For sure, I'll be extra clear about what you just said that was gibberish. You said we could combine a utilitarian framework with what is most moral, but a utilitarian framework is a moral framework in which would dictate what is most moral.
No. I said under my framework, utilitarian goals would also be accomplished. Okay? That doesn't mean we have to subscribe 100%. And again, you're strawmanning with the whole Mormon Catholic thing. For one, Mormons aren't Christians. They don't adhere to the Nicene Creed. Regardless of that, if their goals met the best utilitarian standard, I wouldn't care because it's not the most morally just. I am advocating for a broad adherence to the Nicene Creed Christian nationalist government, not Catholic,
rooted within the fact that you think
not anything
true,
else. Right? Even if it would, how do you say his name? Dostoevsky. I'm bad with the Russian.
Right, you'd say that we should have this, even if Christianity is false, because it generates the most moral outcomes, right?
Exactly.
Right!
Even if you could prove to me it is true. Even if you could prove to me that Christ was not true, I would stick with Christ because it produces the best world. And I'm not a theology debater, so I can't.
And I'm saying,
I don't want to debate you on theology. You debate politics, right?
Actually, I debate more than politics. What you're doing is you're bringing all that theocratic theology debate that I used to do for years out of me. You're bringing all of that Christian nationalist debate that I used to do for years out of me.
I know. I've followed you for a while.
So now here's a problem in your view so far. So basically, what you're saying is that you would subscribe to Christian nationalism, even if it could be proven to be the case that Jesus is not God, because you believe that the system would still yet produce the best moral outcomes. However,
like our founders, yes.
One moment. However, my previous question was incredibly clear. Would you subscribe to a Mormon, nationalist country if it was the case that Mormonism produced the best real world outcomes? And you said no. The contradiction, for the billionth time, by the way, so far in your view, is that you are arguing that you ought subscribe to the view in which would produce the most moral outcomes as a governing body, yet you wouldn't subscribe to the view of a Mormon nationalist country, even if it were to produce the most moral outcomes. Thank you so much for
it wouldn't produce the most moral outcomes.
But the question was an if-then conditional statement. I could explain to you what that is if you need me to.
Yeah, if you could explain.
Okay, I'm saying if X was the case, then Y. All right, so if X is the case, if Mormonism produced the most moral outcomes, then Y, then would you prescribe to Mormon nationalism?
This is just a complete reframe. This is just like fantasy world stuff. You're saying like, hey, like if North Korea was like, the best place in the world, like, would you move there? So you're just making up. Mormonism is dogmatic, just like Catholicism, although they change their stuff every now and then. It's not as dogmatic. Not trying to shit on Mormons too bad, but it is impossible for them to be the most moral framework. Again, this is all pivoting from the main argument of I want Christian nationalism as the broad framework.
You just said that it's impossible for it to be the most moral framework. What is the contradiction in Mormonism and being the most moral framework?
They do not adhere to the Nicene Creed.
Okay, so you're saying an adherence to the Nicene Creed is what would generate the possibility of the most moral framework. So what is the contradiction between a lack of an adherence to the Nicene Creed and a moral framework?
Yeah, if you don't follow the one true God, Jesus Christ, the triune God, then
Exactly.
you are not going to succeed.
Exactly. And let me ask you a question. Would you adhere to the Nicene
Mm-hmm.
Creed if it was the case that Jesus wasn't God?
Jesus is God.
Right. If Jesus wasn't God, would you adhere to the Nicene Creed?
The only response to that is Jesus is God.
No, the response
I'm not
to that-
going to play your
the response to that would be
like
no. And here's the reason.
ridiculous hypotheticals.
So the reason why you won't play into this hypothetical is because if Jesus wasn't God, then you wouldn't hold to the Nicene Creed. Yet earlier you told us if you were convinced that Jesus wasn't God, you would still hold to Christian nationalism. However, you just suggested that
No,
it
it's
is
just a
impossible.
quote.
No,
It's a
I'm still
quote I thought
speaking.
you would know.
I'm still speaking. Thank you so much. However, earlier you suggested that it is impossible to govern a moral government without an adherence to the Nicene Creed. So in arguing that you would adhere to Christian nationalism without an adherence to the Nicene Creed, under your view that it would be impossible to morally govern, would entail that you think we should be immorally governed.
Thank you. I have my phone set up. It's hard to unmute, man. I'm not trying to interrupt you, okay? I apologize. What I am advocating for is broad scope Christian nationalism in our government. I think it would benefit us in almost all sectors when it comes to social issues, when it comes to economic issues of underdeveloped communities. This is what I came here to argue, okay? Not whether these listen, I do hypotheticals all the time because I do debate, just like you do.
Pretty bad at debating. You're pretty bad at debating,
I'm
man.
fine.
You're pretty low tier. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I think that's a cope, Dean. I think the chat's
I think it's a
disagreeing.
fact. I don't even
I
think
think
the
the
chat is
coins on my screen are disagreeing. Yeah.
Wait, you're saying you're saying because you have 3,000 coins, I'm wrong? If that's a cope.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you're coping by even mentioning that at all. You're even bringing up a tier list. You're famous. Why are you bringing up a tier list with a random?
Yeah, the reason why I'm calling you low tier is just because I want to rub it in your face to the fact that you're losing a debate about the fact that you think that we should be governed by a Christian theocracy. And the reason why I feel as if I want to rub that in your face is because I think it's demonstrably clear that a Christian theology is incoherent and harmful. And likely, if I were to begin to explore your other morals, you'd very quickly become a person that I don't like, considering the fact that you label yourself.
Well, why don't we do that?
Sorry. That could become somebody that I don't like, considering the fact that you label yourself as a groiper, right? I bet that you'd end up saying that Hitler was good, the Holocaust was necessary, and only 271,000.
No, I would never say those things at all. Groypers don't advocate those views whatsoever. That's complete propaganda.
But earlier you said all the evil in which exists, all the suffering in which exists is necessary. Was there so that would imply that there was no unnecessary suffering as a result of the Holocaust, therefore the Holocaust was necessary?
Not necessary within the time. Meaning after the fact, all suffering is necessary from a theological worldview. Again, you're trying to like pivot to
so you'd argue
theology.
that the suffering caused by the Holocaust was necessary?
In a theological framework, yes, for the end goal of Christianity, that suffering had to be necessary. That's the only answer.
Right. So you
in
just
Christian theology, you know Christian theology, so you know.
Right. By the way, Christian theology does not dictate that logically speaking, all suffering is necessary. I reject that.
I'm not even trying to get into theology with you, but what's your basis for that?
Plantinga's free will defense. So I understand the reason why you're saying that all suffering is necessary is because you think that God is all good. Therefore, God would only actualize the best possible state of affairs. However, Plantinga's free will defense is a complete refutation of the logical problem of evil that you're attempting to avoid by saying all suffering is necessary, by arguing that a world containing morally free creatures is more valuable than one without it.
That's not avoiding.
Also,
I'm directly answering the free will question.
While also introducing the trans world depravity, suggesting that the logical that it's logically possible that in any world God could have created with significantly free humans, there would still be committed evil acts, thereby making these evil acts logically speaking unnecessary. Plantinga's free will defense, which by the way is a Christian argument in refutation.
I don't know this. Yeah, I don't know this.
It's a Christian argument.
I don't focus theology.
It's a Christian argument in refutation of the logical problem of evil that concludes that not all suffering is necessary.
Okay, well, I'm not familiar with it. I'll have to look into it. Regardless of that, Why don't we go over the actual topics of what's affecting the country and how Christian nationalism would be bad for it or good for it compared to your worldview?
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, I think I've enjoyed this conversation with you so far. Just kidding. I'm going to kick you and move on to the next Trump supporter. Go ahead and hop instead of that queue. If you happen to be MAGA, we'll get you up here. We'll have a conversation. Boy, how many contradictions was I able to point out there in his view in like 20 minutes? I counted like 7 or 8. What's up? Do you support Trump? No, he's not even here. I didn't even like find him insufferable because of the fact that he was like pretty bad at debating. I found him wrong, obviously, but just didn't find him insufferable because it was like an easy dog walk, if that makes any sense. Like I just you know, I'm gonna have to fight too hard. What's up? Do you support Trump?
It's me. I'm the one who offered to debate Christian nationalism, why it's not American. That guy was driving me crazy. Please, next time, if you need me, please bring me up. I'm dying.
Okay, Samantha, I'm sorry that I didn't see you. I am really sorry. By the way, like the 3 people in the comment section saying that Dean got dog walked just weren't tracking. They just like simply like saw somebody debating me that they liked because they agreed with him because they're also Christian nationalists. So they're like, oh, he's winning no matter what, which will then lead to that response. That's just the nature of it. They see somebody that they agree with, they don't care what the response is, just in virtue of the fact that they agree with them, therefore they're never wrong. And because that guess is never wrong, therefore I would always get dog walked under their view. He could come up here and say that he could come up here and concede that under Christian nationalism you'd have to eat your own shit, right? And they'd still be saying that Dean got dog walked. What's up? Do you support Trump?
No, I don't. Can you help me?
We are just looking for Trump supporters. We are just going to move on to that next guest right now, guys. Only hop inside of that queue if you happen to support Trump. Like, dude, honestly, I bet even like some Christian nationalists watching this stream could like honestly comment that guy just wasn't defending the view well, which he wasn't. I mean, it's also terrible for you. What's up? Do you support Trump, Angela?
Yes.
How old are you?
32.
What year were you born in?
92.
Okay, somebody in the comment section says that your ego is insufferable. Ma'am, it's not an ego, it's just a fact. Yeah, let me thank a couple people, then I will pass the mic to you. Space Rat, thank you so much for the $10 over on Super Chat. Thank you so much for the love. Linda, thank you for the $10 as well, who says you're doing the good work. Keep it up, Dean. Thank you so much, Linda. And Inconceivable, thank you so much for the $10 as well. I really appreciate that, you guys. Please show some love to our donors down below in that comment section. Thank you. What month of 92?
This month. My birthday is in a couple days.
What's a popular band from the early 2000s?
Backstreet Boys, NSYNC.
I mean, she's right. I trust her. I trust her. I mean, Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. Yeah, I trust her. Okay. Let me thank a couple people here. Kelly, thank you for the $5 over on Venmo. I appreciate you so much for the love. Who says that last guest is streaming you live on his live? Funny. I guess his stream just watched him get shit on. Thistle. Appreciate you for the $4. Oh, and Angela left. Thank you so much. Daniel, thank you so much for the $10 over on Venmo, who says, first time donating, big fan from Denmark, Ohio. Been watching your lives since late last year. Keep up the great work. You give this leftist 40-year-old single father hope for the future. Well, thank you so much, Daniel. That is very, very kind of you guys. Please, if you're watching, show some love to Daniel down below in that chat, as well as Hunter. Thank you so much for the $20 on Venmo, who says, ask the Christian nationalists how many women have a restraining order against them. Thank you so much for the love. Yeah, and you wouldn't be able to lie either, because of the whole Christian nationalism thing. Probably 25, I don't know, 26 on a good day. Thank you for the $20, Hunter. Bad day, by the way. Landon with a $5, Phoebe with a 3, Jason with a 5, David, thank you so much for the 10. Thank you so much. And Cassandra, thank you so much for the $25 over at Venmo, who says drop the merch. Maybe one day. Thank you so much for the love, you guys. What's going on? Do you support Trump?
Yeah, I support Trump, man.
Okay, how old are you?
I'm 19, March 20th, 2006.
Okay, let me thank 2 more people here. eBay, thank you so much for the $10 on PayPal. He says, stop stealing my money, Dean. Oh, that last guy is so pissed. Vito, I think his name was. Mel, thank you for the $10 as well, and I'm really sorry to hear about the passing of your family member. Thank you for the $10, Mel, and I'm happy that this streams can help. And then Ann with the $5, thank you. Ann with another $7, thank you so much. And Paige with a 5. Go ahead and take it away. Tell us why you support the worst president as president.
Because Dean don't like Donald Trump. That's why I like Donald Trump. Dean got a mullet with no fade.
Dean does have a mullet with no fade. I can't do the fade.
That nigga got a mullet with no fade.
Dude, listen. I can't do the fade. I can't do it. My blonde hair is too thin and small.
I'm playing D, bro. I fuck with you, bro. I'm just scared to pull your tail.
No, man, dude. No, honestly, dude. Yeah, have your fun, man. Have your fun. I mean, listen. Like, I get it. No, dude. Like, I was in the barber shop, right, getting the mullet, right, and looking over. Dude next to me was getting a nice fade, but his hair was brown, right. My hair is like super thin, super like almost transparent and blonde. So I get a fade, right. What it becomes is just like straight up, like just transparent. You know. Good point. What's up? Do you support Trump?
Yeah, sorry. Something popped up on my screen and I was trying to get rid of it and it like took me out. So.
No worries. Go ahead. Take it away. Tell us why you support Trump.
So I would still vote for him. I voted all 3 times.
Woof.
And I would still vote for him just because I feel like certain policies, I don't agree with everything, but certain policies align more with me. And I don't think that I could ever vote Democrat because I just don't agree with basically any of it probably.
Oh boy.
But yeah.
Oh boy. Okay. Lay it on me. What about Trump do you like? What about the Democrats do you not like?
Well, I'm pro-life, and so Democrats are not.
Does pro-life include being like anti-sexual exploitation, rape, sex trafficking, so on and so forth?
I know where you're going with this. And so would you say that somebody saying you're not black if you don't vote for me, or having the highest immigration, or deporting immigrations, is that wrong?
Is it wrong to say that you're not black if you vote for me? Yeah.
No. You're not black if you don't vote for me.
Yeah, it is wrong to say that.
So then would you say because Biden said that he's a horrible person?
I would say that that's a horrible thing he said. Right, and I think that he held himself accountable for that and he apologized. In the context of racism...
I never seen that.
In the context
What'd you say?
In the context of racism, Donald Trump is more racist than Biden and definitely more racist than the black woman.
Okay, but in his first term, he helped more HBCUs than any other president. Is that racist?
Well, that's actually false. Yeah. So he reduced funding to historically black universities. Obama was giving them $2 billion every 4 years. He reduced that to $1 billion every 4 years. And Biden increased that to $4 billion every 4 years. So if you're arguing that because you thought he helped HBCUs, therefore he's not racist, because he actually hurt HBCUs using your logic, he is racist.
Okay, then would you say that Biden is racist for saying if you don't vote for me, you're not black?
Can you please address the internal critique of your own logic?
I mean, if you're saying that
because remember, that's not what I'm saying. That's an internal critique of your logic. You said he's not racist because he helped HBCUs. Therefore, if he
I didn't say that.
That's exactly.
Oh wait, you said. Okay.
Mind you, Biden wasn't the candidate. The black woman was. Was she racist?
But okay. So then was she voted in to be up for a presidential election?
Yeah.
By who?
The delegates at the DNC.
But isn't it like isn't it up to the people to determine who?
Oh, the people did that in 2020 when they made her vice president.
But that's not how it works.
It is, right? And we have a social contract in this country that when the president steps down, the vice president steps up. That's why we have a vice president.
Do you think he willingly stepped down or was he forced?
I mean, he says he willingly did it. I bet there's pressures from the party, as there should have been.
Why?
Why? Because he wasn't a viable candidate. Now, why are we like getting so far off track? Right? Like I feel like you're just trying to like overwhelm me with questions that you don't think I'll be able to answer about Biden. So we could like forego addressing the fact that Donald Trump, right, was best friends with Epstein while he was sex trafficking children, knew what Epstein was doing, didn't care and said nothing. So you could like go around the fact that he was held civilly liable for raping E. Jean Carroll, or around the fact that he boasted about sexually exploiting naked women and or naked girls at Miss Teen USA and or Miss USA. And around the facts of his policy, considering that you called yourself pro-life, like starving 16 million American children that you should care about by refusing to abide by a court order and granting money to fund food stamp benefits or taking health care away from 10 million low-income Americans through the big, beautiful bill.
Okay, so two things really fast. Sorry. So, wasn't there a file that said that Epstein said that he hated Trump?
At some point, one or another, that he thought Trump was a super bad person. Yeah.
So then, how can you say that he condoned everything and all of that if the guy didn't even like him?
Well, I mean, I think the fact that Epstein hung out with child rapists and took the most issue with Trump is very telling. I don't know if that's a good point for your position. Don't know why you would bring it up.
I'm just saying, because how do we know that he's in the file? I mean, the Democrats and Republicans have had the opportunity to release.
How do we know that he's in the files? Well, because we just had some of the files released to us and he was in them.
But those were, at least I heard, I don't know, because I haven't really looked into all of that. Like, I'm with everybody who wants it to be released. I feel like Republicans and Democrats are, huh?
Why doesn't Trump want the files released? The files on a man who wasn't even investigated by our DOJ yet.
When did he start getting investigated?
He was arrested in 2019.
Oh, okay. Well, see, like I said, I haven't really looked into all of this. To be honest, it could just all be a big hoax just to get both sides against each other. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's what Trump says, that they're all a big hoax made by the Democrats. Do you agree with him?
I don't know.
You don't know if Trump's right? Well, obviously he's wrong because he just directed Pam Bondi to look into the files to find anything that could incriminate Bill Clinton. Right? Obviously, if they were hoax made by Bill Clinton, there wouldn't be anything incriminated inside of them. So, yeah, I mean, he contradicted his own lie. He didn't really think that one through.
Well, like I said, I haven't looked into all of the Epstein stuff. I just think, like everybody, that it should just be released and that's it. Somebody is guilty and they all need to pay consequences for it.
Yeah. So why do you still support?
Well, on the second point that I wanted to make, is it the government's responsibility to take care of people's kids, or is it parents' responsibility to take care of their kids?
I don't think that this is answering my question.
Well, it's going back to the point that you made about him starving 6 million children or whatever.
Yeah, so let me restate the question that I asked you. Why do you support Trump even though he boasted about sexually exploiting naked women and or naked girls to Howard Stern in 2005?
I don't support that.
But you still support him as president even though he sexually exploited naked little girls?
Would you vote even if the person that you would potentially be voting for was like someone who you thought was morally or ethically wrong?
Not if they.
Or would you just not vote at all?
Not if they'd sexually exploited little girls. I would not vote for a candidate. No, not vote for them. What about you?
Would you still? Okay, but I didn't know that till after the fact, and I actually only heard that through you
today.
Like I said, I support some of his policies. I do not support everything. So no, I do not support that. But also, the audio that you have played about that, didn't they say that, or he said that people said, hey, come in here, therefore he was given consent to go in there? And so even though he was in there, I get it, people were uncomfortable, but he was still invited. And if they're clothed, like even if it's like very minimal, it's no different than being in a bikini, wouldn't you say?
The difference would be consent. Point number one, you said
Somebody
that in the
gave
clip,
him
Hey,
consent.
I let you talk. You're gonna let me talk. Point number one, you said in the clip that I played, he was invited in. Okay. Point number one, minors can't consent. Point number two, in the clip, he did not say that the women or minors invited him in. He said he allowed himself to go in. And point number three, there is a difference between having your undies on and having a bathing suit on. That difference would fall within consent. Point number four, they didn't even have their undies on. They were fully naked as they had no clothes on.
Okay, I mean, I don't know. Maybe play the clip again like people are saying. I don't really care, but
Well, you could also say, as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now,
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
You're like a
everything is
doctor.
good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that.
Coral, thank you for the $20 over on Super Chat, who says, Coral says, quote unquote, we got a pivot princess on our hands. I appreciate you for the $20, Coral. Space Rat, thank you for the $10. Thank you so much, Space Rat. Really appreciate you. Vesna, thank you so much for the $20 over on PayPal. And I'll try to find that clip right now. Thank you so much for giving me that heads up. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Vesna. Let's get 200 Vesna W's. Let's also get 100 Wesley W's for the $10. Who says, keep fighting the good fight, my dude. History will remember. Thank you for the love. And then Vesna, thank you for another $20 saying, hey, Dean, I sent you $50 earlier when you were on with Parker. With an important message. Okay, I will look for that right now, Vesna. Thank you so much for the love. And then Kiara, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. Says you're amazing, Dean. Thank you so much, Kiara. Catherine with the $10. Yes, you can DM me that. Thank you, Catherine. And then Daniel with another $10 who says MAGA choosing to ignore Trump's disgusting behavior is horrifyingly reminiscent of how Nazis ignored Hitler's scandal with his niece. That's a cult of personality for you. Gracie, thank you for the $10 who says thank you for what you do. Thank you so much, Gracie. That's awesome. Thank you. Then Catherine with the $11.11 who says giving me hope that my kid will get somewhere with his streaming. Dude, I bet he will. Thank you so much for the $11. If he's consistent, he will. And then Kelly with the $5. Thank you so much. Go ahead. Oh, one more. The Ghost Bear, thank you for the $20 over on Super Chat, who says, quote unquote, is it the parents or the government's responsibility to take care of their child, end quote. With that logic, any crime against children shouldn't be prosecuted by the government. Dumb argument. Keep on being good, Dean. And by that logic, the government shouldn't be able to tell a woman that she shouldn't be able to get an abortion since that woman is ultimately the one who bears responsibility for the well-being of their child. Really good point you had there, Bear. Go ahead.
So first of all, people in the chat, please leave my kids out of it.
Well, what if this happened to your kids?
My kids are fine.
What if one of the kids at Miss Teen USA that Donald Trump barged in on while they were naked was your daughter?
I don't put my kids in situations like that.
Okay, I don't think that this is answering the question.
Well, I just wouldn't put my kid in a situation where they would be exposed like that.
Yeah, imagine that you took your daughter to Cole to try on a new dress. She was in the dressing room trying it on while she was naked, taking off her clothes before she put the dress on. Floor manager brushes past you, uses his key to unlock the door to look at your daughter while she's fully naked. Would you say that man should ever be made president? Because he barged into the dressing room of a naked minor to look at them?
Well, again, that would not happen.
Okay, I think it's incredibly possible and has already happened in the sense that you've taken your daughter to try clothes on at a store.
So the girls in the pageant, how old were they?
15 through 25. Miss Teen USA, Miss USA.
Okay. Because, I mean, I was just asking because I didn't know. And for some reason, I thought that you said that they were like 18.
15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Women and minors. In both scenarios, it was unconsensual.
Okay, then, I mean, yes, absolutely, that is wrong.
Okay, so once again, assuming that you took your daughter to the store to try a dress on at Kohl's, she's in the dressing room, takes her clothes off privately to try the dress on, floor manager brushes past you, unlocks the door to look at your daughter while she's naked. Should that man ever be made president in his life?
No, but where was this argument before Trump was...
So he shouldn't be made president at any point of his life if he does it to your daughter. So what if Trump does it to the daughters of other individuals?
Well, again, like, I do not agree with that. I'm not supporting that.
But you
just
are supporting him as a president,
don't think that you
right?
would support Biden kissing
But you just said
kids.
that you just said that this would be a red line against somebody if it wasn't Trump. So then why is it not a red line against Trump?
I didn't say it wasn't a red line against Trump. I've said over and over that I do not support.
But a red line would be basically if you did this thing, then you would never support him as president, regardless of all else.
I said I support his policies.
So do you support him as president or not?
He is my president.
Yes, I didn't ask you if he was your president. I asked you if you supported him as president. Very simple question.
I support him as president. As for the policies that I agree with, I do not support him as an individual man.
So you do support him as president. Therefore, you don't view this as a red line. Therefore, you do have a contradiction when you.
That's not what I'm saying. You're putting words in my mouth. Do you support Biden as president for unconsensually kissing kids inappropriately?
Those are the words that just left your mouth.
No, they're not. I'm not saying that he did this and I support it.
Yes or no, do you support Donald Trump as president?
Yes.
Therefore, the fact that he has sexually exploited a little girl, you can't say yes and no.
Yes, I can.
No, that's a contradiction. You can't say yes, no. You can't say yes, no. No. You can't do that. It's a contradiction.
I can absolutely say,
listen, it's impossible that it's simultaneously true that you do support Trump as president and you don't support Trump as president. That's inconceivable. It's impossible to do that simultaneously.
Saying I don't support a behavior of his.
But that's not the question that I asked you. I just fucked up my keyboard. Look at it. You're enraging me so much with your nonsense that I just fucked up my keyboard. That's not the question that I asked you. The question that I asked you was, do you support Trump as president?
I support his policies.
That's
not all of them.
That's not what I asked you.
You're just saying that I have to say matter-of-factly, this is what I believe, even if it's
I just want to know if you think that Donald Trump is somebody that should be president right now.
Well, you know what? Since some of my stuff has changed on him recently, not prior to the election, because prior to and during the election and after, up until the last little bit with some things that he's been doing, I did support him. He is still my president, but there are actions that he is taking that I do not support.
She's too unclear, okay? We're going to kick her. Goodbye. Moving on to the next guest. Let's go to get the next guest up in the box, guys. Only opposite of that queue if you are MAGA. We'll happily get you loaded up in the box. This is probably going to be the last guest of the night. I don't know if I could take it for too much longer. Okay, I'm just going to keep it real. DK, thank you so much for the $20 over on Super Chat. Good to see you again, my friend. And thank you so much for the love. I appreciate you for supporting me. I appreciate you for supporting the stream. Welcome in. Are you MAGA?
Yes.
Okay. Real quick, Mateus, thank you for the $10 on PayPal, who says, love how Trump was all lovey-dovey with his Pookie Bill Clinton. Oh, yeah. He's Donica Blewinski over here. Guess so. Grace, thank you for the $5 over on Venmo. Appreciate you so much. Kiara, thank you for the $10. Thank you so much, Kiara. If you're watching and you do want to support me, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree in my bio on TikTok, in the pinned message of the YouTube stream, or on the top of the phone screen right there. Go ahead and take it away. Why the hell do you support Trump?
Because it is the only party where all lives matter until that life is an immigrant or a pregnant woman or a born baby or a starving baby.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and assume that you actually do not support Trump as president. You take care. Moving on to the next guest right now. We're going to get that next guest connecting in right now, everybody. Only up inside of the queue if you happen to support Trump as president. We got J-May connecting to the stream right now. Oh, J-May didn't want to join. We're going to get that next guest, Kyler, loaded up. And hey, Kyler, do you drive a lifted F-150?
I do, man.
How did I know?
What's up, man?
How did I know, Kyler?
I don't know, man. How did you know?
It's because your name is Kyler and you support Trump.
No, I don't, Dean. I love what you do, bud.
Whoa!
I don't drive a Ford.
Whoa!
And I
Plot
don't drive a
twist!
Ford, buddy. Yes,
Plot
I love
twist! Plot fucking twist! Based! So based. So unbelievably based. Let's go. Fuck yeah. W. Kyler. W. Kyler. Down below in that chat. Let's go. Hell yeah. Okay, this is such an obvious troll. Look at this account. I'm going to bring this person up just so I could show you their account. Cheryl Williams, what the hell are you doing?
Hello?
What is that profile picture?
Is it true that Trump's been walking Bill's will?
What is that profile picture?
How is it true? Please.
Why?
Sheriff, it's true. Has he been?
What is?
Megan, please tell us. Has he been?
What is this? Who is this? Who is this lady?
Please.
Who is this?
No.
Why?
That's Cheryl. Cheryl Bear?
Wait, let me look at the other people on the account. What is this?
Cheryl Bear. Cheryl Bear.
This is Cher Bear?
Yeah, of course.
What about, okay, so that's Cher Bear. Are these all the same person? Is this also Cher Bear?
Yeah, that's Cheryl Bear. Those are her different.
Hey, that's a different person.
No, that's no. That's Cheryl Williams.
Get out of here. They're so bored. They're so bored. We got Nate loading up in right now. They're so bored, dude. That poor woman, whoever that is, that poor old lady, whoever that is. What's up? Do you support Trump?
I do.
How old are you, Nate?
I'm doing pretty good.
Well, good to hear. How old are you, Nate?
I'm 16.
All right, Nate, got to be at least 18 to be in TikTok Live. You do take care now. Moving on to the next guest. At Cher Bear. Yeah, that's Cher Bear, dude. At Cher Bear. Hey, what's up? Do you support Trump? No. This person's name is Angry American. I hope that they're not actually angry. Let's see. We got them loading up. Yo, calm down, G. Calm down. Calm down, G. Calm down. Do you support Trump?
Nah, fuck Trump.
Oh, based. Based. Do not calm down, G. Do not calm down. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up into the box right now. All right, everyone. Here we go. All right, guys. We're about done trying to find the people to debate. We're just about done here, folks. Landon, thank you so much for the $10 over on PayPal. Landon did ask me specifically not to read their message out loud, but Landon, just know that I really appreciate you. And then Nina, thank you for the $10 over on Venmo. Jordan, thank you so much for the $20 on Venmo, saying Donica Blewinski. Thank you for all that you do. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Jordan. Show some love to Jordan in that chat. And Shelly, what the hell are we doing? Do you support Trump? Bro, we're just not finding the debates. We just may end early. Low-key. Low-key. We might just end early. Gonna keep it a buck. But seriously, Jordan, thank you for the $20 over on Venmo. Another one, Roberto. Thank you for the $10. Thank you so much, Roberto. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, moving on to our next guest, Dom. Yo, Soul, thank you for the $50 over on Venmo. Holy shit, man. Soul with the $50 says, fuck, dude, disrespectfully. Keep cooking, chef. Dude, Soul, it's good to see you. Thank you so much for hanging out with us for the day. Good to see you. I appreciate you for being here. I want to see 500 SOLWs down below in that comment section. What's going on, D-Sport Trump? Down. Dude, our queue is full of bots. Our queue is full of them. And they're full of the bots. They're several only bots. Hello, D-Sport Trump.
Yeah.
How old are you?
23.
What year are you born in?
2002.
And why the hell do you support your worst, the worst president of your lifetime, Mr. Trump?
He's goated.
Dude, okay. Dude, continents, how many are there?
I'm just kidding. My bad. I got it.
All right, guys, we're going to try our 3 more guests. If we don't get somebody up in the next 3 guests, then we are going to end like 15 minutes early. Let's go get the next guest loaded into the box right now. The first of our last 3 attempts. This is the first of our last 3 attempts to get a debate. Okay, they're not joining. Okay, David Yamba. Nope, request canceled. Shucky. Brandon Son. Brandon Son left. 2 more attempts. Shaheen Organics. Hello, do you support Trump? Shaheen Organics left. 1 more attempt. Attempt. There's a T at the end of that word. Do you support Trump, Kay? And Kay left, and we're out of attempts. GG's! GG's! There it is. Wow, fucking speed run. Speed run. Manda, thank you so much for the $20 over on Super Chat, who says, is your girlfriend tired of you stealing the tinfoil? Yeah, she is. You guys couldn't see this on TikTok. I know that y'all saw it on YouTube. She came in and she got it from me. Amanda also goes on to say, side note, how does she feel about your mullet? My son wants one. She actually doesn't like it. She actually doesn't like the mullet, which has prevented me from getting one again for like the last 1.5 years, 2 years. But I personally really like it. It's like my favorite haircut on myself. So I finally just got it again in hopes that it'd grow on her because I really like how it looks. But folks, for the 8.5 thousand people hanging out with us on TikTok, for the 4.3 thousand people hanging out with us on YouTube, at this time, the stream has come to an end. I don't know if you guys can tell I'm pretty tired, pretty whooped today. So I'm going to end it a little bit early. Folks, I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. We'll have more great debates, and I'll be a little bit more peppy and energetic too. Have a good rest of your night, everybody. Peace and love. Bye-bye.